Chapter 87. Looking at his 5-digit savings, all of a sudden, he was left with only 2,000, which made him feel a little distressed. The system was never full. Sooner or later he had to pay the public ration, which made Akira Uchiha feel like he was being squeezed dry every day. Before, he was weak and easy to earn points, plus he exercised his body, so Akira Uchiha often had a surplus of food. If there was nothing else, he could also add some other attributes. So the question was, how could he refuse his girlfriend, the system's request to pay the public ration? If it wasn't for the system, he couldn't see or touch it. Otherwise, Akira Uchiha would really want to pull out the system and beat it up to relieve the hatred in his heart, to let it know why the flowers were so red. It took them more than 3 days to walk out of the forest that had surrounded them all this time. Along the road, they entered a small town that Orochimaru said was relatively rich. Could you please explain, this kind of dilapidated house? You can see the end of it at a glance. Can you really call it a small town? If you say it's a village, I'll believe it. Approaching the town, the atmosphere here was more tense than wood leaf. After all, this place was very close to the border. There were all kinds of ninjas in the town who went to perform missions, because some areas have been in war. So under the influence of the war, there were many refugees on the streets, begging for food and money. They were in rags, and their expressions were sad. Some of them were dragging their families. The children's dry faces were covered with dust, looking very pitiful. But Orochimaru looked straight ahead at the surrounding environment, driving the carriage forward, turning a blind eye to all of this. Soon, the carriage stopped in front of a rundown inn. It seems that this hotel is where they will be staying tonight. This small hotel won't be related to this mission, right? Akira Uchiha was a little careful at this time. After all, Orochimaru generally chose a place with deep meaning. This needs to be silently speculated by a small salted fish like him. Orochimaru got off the carriage, then Akira Uchiha and Mikoto followed. He said to Akira Uchiha and Mikoto, "We are very close to the border. We will stay here tonight, and set off again tomorrow morning." After saying that, Orochimaru went straight in. "By the way, where's Rope Tree?" Mikoto asked. "He's still asleep in the carriage. I'll call him. You wait for me here." Mikoto nodded. "Hey Rope Tree, wake up. We're here." Akira Uchiha shook the Rope Tree. Awakened by the shaking, Rope Tree suddenly got up, and then his eyes showed vigilance. His left hand touched his ninja bag, and his right hand reached somewhere in his pants. "Yes, it's still here." Rope Tree nodded. "We've arrived at a small town. We'll rest here tonight." "Oh." Rope Tree immediately relaxed. He took out his right hand and flicked away the mucus at the corner of his eye. After getting off the carriage, Mikoto was already waiting for them, so they quickly walked in. Although the outside of the hotel was shabby, the inside was very clean. However, Orochimaru was the only one standing in front of the counter. "Teacher, is there no boss?" Akira Uchiha asked. "Yes. He just went to change his clothes." "What? What time is it? Why did he go to change clothes when there are customers?" Akira Uchiha was a little confused. After all, Orochimaru would not be patient with a normal person. But Orochimaru did not seem to be impatient at all, he just stood there. After a while, no one came out. Just when Akira Uchiha was getting impatient, a woman in her 30s hurried out of the room. Although the woman's appearance was average, she had a temperament. When the woman walked over, the feeling was like a spring breeze blowing past Lake Lugu, and the autumn rain soaking Juzhegu. Thinking about it but not thinking about it, it would appear in his mind. Thinking about it but not thinking about it, it would resound in his heart. Especially when the kimono she was wearing was the perfect contrast. Akira Uchiha and the other two had a strange look, looking at Orochimaru who was also wearing a kimono. So that's why, looking at the somewhat absent-minded Orochimaru, Akira Uchiha felt that he could finish his apprenticeship. He thought that he had already guessed the deeper meaning of Orochimaru's visit this time. Orochimaru was very sensitive. He immediately felt the gazes of the three next to him. He explained in a hoarse voice, "I used to go on missions with Tsunade and Jiraiya, and often stayed here. So I'm very familiar with this place." "Oh, familiar people." So Gasn, Akira Uchiha stretched out his voice, showing an understanding expression. For ninjas, please go upstairs. The room you usually stay in has been cleaned. Although the other party was talking about the four of them, her eyes were always looking at Orochimaru. The other party had been leading the way in front, and stopped at the door of the last room. Opening the room, it was very simple and very clean. Then I'll go first. If there's anything, please tell me. The woman bowed to Orochimaru and left. Well, I'm going to resupply. You can go out for a walk. It's safe here. Orochimaru said lightly, then turned and left the room. Although the four of them didn't use much supplies. However, ninjas have a relatively large appetite. Although military food pills can be used to satisfy hunger, this kind of thing is undoubtedly a strategic resource. They were still injured, and it was not suitable for them to eat these things. Therefore, there was nothing wrong with what Orochimaru said. As for what Orochimaru-sensei really did, they didn't know. However, they couldn't doubt their sensei's character. Their sensei didn't look like the kind of person who would trick children to see goldfish. Akira Uchiha opened the window, the setting sun passed through the window, and it was already dark outside. The town was full of smoke from cooking. Mikoto took out a few green tea leaves that Akira Uchiha liked from her scroll. She was going to use the hot water in the room to start making tea. Let's go out for a walk. Staying in the carriage for a few days. Although Mikoto also accompanied him to chat, trying not to let him feel bored. But after a few days, Akira Uchiha always felt that his body began to have lice. Mikoto never refused Akira Uchiha's proposal. The tea bag that was prepared to be opened was also put away. Mikoto stood up and followed Akira Uchiha out of the room. Seeing this, the big light bulb rope tree also went out. Chapter 88. Since Orochimaru said that this place was safe and they could go out for a stroll, then this place must be very safe. Although all the countries were now stationing troops at the border, they were all restraining themselves for the time being. The interior of the Fire Country hadn't been affected at all. Perhaps the taxes on the civilians had also increased a lot. After all, war was a war of attrition. Those who benefited from it would always be those at the top of the food chain. Akira Uchiha led Mikoto out of the slightly run-down inn. He led Mikoto on the town's only main road. Behind him was a rope tree with a small tail. According to the plot of the Xuanhuan novels, Uchiha-chan should be bringing his servants out to show off and harm the people in the village. Mikoto was of course a woman he snatched, while Nobuyuki was his lackey and hired thug. But no protagonist jumped out to be slapped in the face by Akira Uchiha. There was nothing in the vicinity except for some sallow and emaciated poor people. What Akira Uchiha didn't expect was that at the end of the town, there was a shrine. But it was completely abandoned. Many people can't even eat. How can they care about these shrines? Rope Tree shook his head. But I heard from my grandmother that in a place called the Land of Demons, shrines are very popular there. When she was young, she traveled there. She said that the sealing technique there was very interesting. And it's a mysterious country with witches. Rope Tree showed a yearning expression. Akira Uchiha nodded. When we have time, we can go there and see if the witches are beautiful. If they are, we can take back Wood Leaf. Akira Uchiha and Rope Tree showed a vulgar smile. Mikoto next to them also smiled, but her smile became colder. Akira Uchiha immediately shut his mouth. When Akira Uchiha and the others entered the town, it was already evening. He didn't walk for long outside, and it was already evening. Well, there were no evening lights. In this town, most of the residents used dim oil lamps. In this town where electricity wasn't widely available, what else could you ask for? After walking around for a while, the few of them went back. Because the inn didn't provide food, Mikoto borrowed the inn's kitchen to make dinner. The ingredients were bought by Akira Uchiha from the town's residents with silver. Because it was made by himself, it was quite generous. Mikoto's cooking skills were very good, after all. She started learning to cook at a very young age. In this aspect, Mikoto was probably equivalent to several Shinakushinas. Of course, Chin wasn't qualified to talk about kushina like that. After all, the food he made tasted worse than Shinakushinas. Akira Uchiha grew up eating Mikoto's cooking. In Rope Tree's words, Akira Uchiha was Mikoto's sugar baby. Mikoto was eating her dinner, and from time to time, She would pick up some meat from her portion and put it in Ichiha's bowl. She was like a gentle little wife. It would be better if there was no rope tree next to her. Look at Orochimaru, he knew what was going on. He said he was going to resupply, and then Akira Uchiha didn't see him again. He didn't know if he went to resupply or to deliver milk. After eating, Akira Uchiha drank a mouthful of Mikoto's tea. It felt like they were back in the village. Usually when school was over, they were like this. Just as Akira Uchiha was about to say something, there was a noise from the room upstairs. "A snake! Help me!" A sharp voice suddenly sounded from the second floor. The three of them were eating on the first floor, and the voice came from their room on the second floor. It couldn't be Orochimaru in the room, with a shy expression, and then raised his hand and said there was a snake. This scene was too beautiful. So it should be a thief. Obviously, Rope Tree also thought of this. His face changed, and he immediately rushed over. "Hey, isn't your gold bar hidden somewhere in your pants? Why are you in such a hurry?" Could it be that Rope Tree secretly hid something that Akira Uchiha didn't know? "Let me see what's going on." After saying this, Akira Uchiha stood up and ran to the second floor. When he opened the door, Rope Tree was already standing there. Mikoto also followed Akira Uchiha's footsteps. Akira Uchiha found that there was a little ghost in the room. At this time, he was holding Rope Tree's backpack in the country of hot water. Wow, he really knows what's good for him. The little ghost was completely entangled by Big White, who was summoned by Akira Uchiha. This was just Akira Uchiha's little defense method, who knew that it would really come in handy. The little ghost looked to be 6 or 7 years old. His face was yellow and his body was thin as if he hadn't eaten for a long time. The little ghost seemed to be very afraid of snakes. But even so, his hand was still tightly holding onto Rope Tree's backpack. But Big White tightened his grip, and the child suddenly couldn't hold on. "Big White, let him go." Akira Uchiha was afraid that Big White would strangle him to death. The little ghost who was released didn't give up resisting. He glared fiercely at Akira Uchiha, then picked up his backpack and ran towards the window. It seemed that he had jumped over the window. How could Rope Tree let him escape? He reached out to grab him. Then, the little ghost turned his head and bit Rope Tree's hand. Oh ho, he could even bite people. But how could he be a match for Rope Tree? Rope Tree tripped him in an instant. Rope Tree picked up his backpack and hurriedly went out to check. Akira Uchiha's eyes lit up. He gave Big White a look, and Big White understood and quietly followed him out. "Tisich, you want to escape my eyes? You're still too young, Rope Tree." Uchiha-chan grabbed the kid's ankle, lifted him up and shook him. He shook out a wallet from his arms. It was Akira Uchiha's wallet. After shaking out the wallet, Akira Uchiha didn't stop, but continued to shake out a few more clothes. "So how many things did you steal?" There were a lot of thieves like this outside. But it was the first time Akira Uchiha saw someone stealing from a ninja. He really wasn't afraid of death. After shaking out the items, Akira Uchiha casually threw the little ghost on the carpet. "It hurts." The little ghost covered his head. Keep pretending, keep pretending." What happened? At this time Orochimaru, who had disappeared for a long time, slowly appeared. "Just a little thief," Akira Uchiha replied. The shop owner who heard the news also rushed over. She was still wearing the kimono. Looking at them, she said to Orochimaru, "Forgive her this time, ninja-sama." "Your relative?" Orochimaru asked with interest. "No. This child is just a war orphan. She escaped from somewhere else. I saw that the child was pitiful, so I occasionally gave her something to eat." "Oh, you also do this kind of thing. This isn't like you," Orochimaru said with a hoarse voice. "It's not easy for an orphan to survive in the war, not to mention a girl," the woman explained. "A girl?" Akira Uchiha rubbed his eyes. He looked at the short-haired little ghost. Her face was black with dust, and she looked malnourished. She was wearing shabby boy's clothes, and her nose was running. Are you sure this creature is a soft and cute girl? Chapter 89. The girl in front of him was emitting a foul smell, and her clothes were tattered. Her hands were behind her back, and she looked nervous. But her eyes didn't seem to be very good, and she kept squinting at the woman who saved her. Her originally blonde hair was gray, because she hadn't washed it for a long time. This girl couldn't be Watergate's long-lost sister, right? If so, then this is a joke. He would probably be killed by Watergate. Akira Uchiha carefully looked at her for a long time, trying to find similarities between her and Watergate. Fortunately, other than the hair, there were no similarities. However, Akira Uchiha couldn't help but sigh. The courage to do this under the nose of a ninja was indeed praiseworthy. But there was also a great risk. If she met a ninja with a bad temper, even if she killed him, no one would say anything. No one would care about the life of a poor person. But looking at her yellow and thin appearance, Akira Uchiha didn't find it difficult to understand. She was too hungry. Even because of malnutrition. The kid's real age might be a little older than what she looked like. In this era, commoners had a hard life, being bullied by the nobles and landlords, as well as the occasional ninja, who passed by from time to time might give you a hard time. For a ninja, as long as they didn't deliberately kill a large number of innocent commoners, they wouldn't be responsible for accidentally killing a few commoners. But then again, they had no intention of killing this little brat in the first place. And the woman even begged for mercy. Orochimaru's golden eyes looked at the woman. "You're not going to, that's right." The woman nodded. "You were born there, so you should know how cruel it is. Didn't you always want to escape from there? You actually want to send her in?" Orochimaru hissed and laughed. "It's better than the current situation. If she wants to live, she can only go in there." The woman shook her head. Akira Uchiha and the others were confused. They didn't know what these two were talking about. "Damn, what here and there? I know there's a story between you two, stop pretending." It was as if no one knew how to speak in code. Akira Uchiha pursed his lips. He began to have some guesses about this woman's identity. "Scram." Orochimaru said to the kid. "Wait." Mikoto suddenly called out to the girl. She put some of her clothes and some money in the girl's hand. The girl looked at Mikoto and the people in front of her, but she didn't take it. "Take it. You stole it with your own ability, so why don't you want it?" Akira Uchiha said, even though his own wallet was already in his pocket. That seems to make sense." The little ghost thought for a while, picked up something, and jumped out of the window. To them, this was just a small matter. In any case, he would not be able to meet this brat again in the future. After resting for a whole night, Orochimaru's team once again began their mission. According to Akira Uchiha's observation, with their current speed, it would take about 2 days to reach the mission location. However, Akira Uchiha was not completely idle. He began to ask Orochimaru about the nature of the wind attribute chakra. Previously, he was able to easily complete the lightning and fire attributes. But when he encountered the wind attribute, he ran into trouble. It seems that his ninjutsu attribute was not enough. But he was now a poor person, he didn't have any ninja points to level up. But fortunately, there was an all-round Orochimaru beside him. It was a lot more convenient to have a teacher. He was like an old grandpa. "Where are you at?" Orochimaru asked. Since leaving the hotel, he was a little depressed, his whole body was emitting a do not disturb aura. "I just felt a little bit. There's still a long way to go before the first step." Akira Uchiha pointed to the leaf in his hand that had been cut open. "There's no need to use the leaf now. The leaf is more difficult, the conductivity of chakra is too low," Orochimaru said in a deep voice. Then from his pocket, he took out a piece of crumpled white paper. A beam of chakra spread out from Orochimaru's hand, and turned into a sharp wind attribute chakra the moment it left his body. In an instant, the white paper was cut in half. Orochimaru's hand shook, and the white paper was torn into pieces. "Good, very strong." Akira Uchiha nodded. "You can try it first, the conductivity of chakra in the paper is much stronger than the leaf." "Well, but where can I find this kind of paper? Isn't there a manga in Rope Tree's bag? You can take it out and use it. Anyway, in a few days Tsunade will find it and sell it. It's better to use it now," Orochimaru said. Akira Uchiha nodded and glanced at Rope Tree, who was still sleeping. Anyway, Rope Tree has already read it 5 or 6 times, so he already knew the plot by heart. This kind of small matter shouldn't need to specifically inform Rope Tree. Then, Chin gently took the manga from Kuroto's hand. Whoa whoa whoa. This kind of plot is also the kind that Akira Uchiha likes. It's a pity to tear it up like this. He suddenly felt a little reluctant to do it. But in front of Mikoto's cold smile, he could only tear it up. Akira Uchiha followed Orochimaru's method, and tried it on the manga. Sure enough, the cut was much bigger than the leaf. The next 2 days were as calm as the surface of the water. Akira Uchiha and Mikoto chatted when they were in the mood. When he was bored, Akira Uchiha began to practice his chakra, or the wind attribute chakra. In such a slightly dull journey, 2 days quickly slipped through the fingers. They finally arrived at the mission location. It's unexpectedly big. Akira Uchiha originally thought that this would be a dilapidated town. Outside the town, while Orochimaru dismounted to go through the formalities to enter the town, Akira Uchiha opened the curtain of the carriage and looked at the high walls and the ninjas standing guard above. The structure here is very similar to Woodleaf Village. It seems that this is the bridgehead of Woodleaf's war. The Land of Fire is very big. Once the war breaks out, the allocation of various materials is very slow. So a large number of materials will be concentrated here in advance. When the war breaks out, they will be sent to various battlefields, which will save a lot of time. Chapter 90. Akira Uchiha and the other two looked into the town from the gate. As far as Akira Uchiha could see, the roads in the town were all paved with square bricks. The houses on both sides were also built with extremely sturdy earth. As far as the eyes could see, most of them were ninjas. There were also food transported from various places in the Fire Country. With so many ninjas and strict defensive measures, there was no other place in the Fire Country that could compare with this place. If you really want to talk about it, only Konoha can be compared to it. But the war atmosphere in Woodleaf couldn't be compared with this place. Thinking that he could rest in such a place tonight, finally not having to spend the night in a narrow carriage or in the wilderness, Akira Uchiha felt that his injuries were a little better. Even his movements were a lot lighter. After finishing the procedures to enter the town, Orochimaru came back. Okay, let's get off. Orochimaru clapped his hands. Why are we going in on foot? Akira Uchiha wondered. But he saw that the other carriages went in. There was no reason for them to walk in. Was it because they weren't ninjas that they were despised? No, we're not going in. Orochimaru lightly replied. What? So they just came to the gate and left? He was so excited. Then where are we going to sleep tonight? Rope Tree, who was also very disappointed, asked. Tonight we're going to sleep with Tsunade's team. Orochimaru replied. Akira Uchiha remembered that their team seemed to be girls. Oh, then what are we waiting for? Let's go quickly. Tsunade-sensei and the others are waiting for us. Akira Uchiha immediately carried his backpack. Then Orochimaru led the excited Akira Uchiha and the others toward the forest. After half a day of trekking, they finally arrived at the place where they were going to sleep tonight. However, what came into view was a dilapidated tent. The original military green color had been covered by a layer of dust. The color of the tent had also turned gray. Akira Uchiha and the other two, who were carrying large and small bags of luggage, were somewhat sluggish. Okay, we're here. Orochimaru nodded with satisfaction. Farewell, my town. Farewell, my big soft bed. Orochimaru took the lead and walked in. Akira Uchiha and the others followed closely behind. When Akira Uchiha entered the tent, he discovered that it was very dark inside. The facilities inside were also very simple. There was only a table and a stool. Tsunade was sleeping on the table. Lord Tsunade, please wake up. The slug beside Tsunade woke up Tsunade. Shinakushina-chan, I really didn't sleep. Tsunade, who was woken up by Slug, raised his head and reached for the pen on his desk. Tsunade raised her head and saw Orochimaru and the others. Thus she stopped pretending. She wiped the saliva from the corner of her mouth, and then yawned loudly. Why are you guys only here now? He obediently took off his coat. It is said that tolerance is great, but Tsunade was the opposite. Sometimes she was very forthright, Sometimes she was a very stingy woman. On Akira Uchiha's list of people that he must not provoke, Tsunade's danger level was definitely in the top 5. So, if you said something stupid to tease Tsunade, then think about Jiraiya's end. Then you'll know what you have to do. A green chakra rose from Tsunade's hand. Akira Uchiha felt the wound on his left chest itching. He had to admit that medical ninjutsu was really magical. Just when Tsunade was treating, Orochimaru asked, "By the way, Tsunade, did your team find the gold mine?" Tsunade sighed. "I suspect that there is no gold mine here." Chapter 91. Orochimaru narrowed her eyes and looked at Tsunade. "You said there is no gold mine here?" Tsunade's hands were still on Akira Uchiha's chest. She said without raising her head, "At least I didn't find any trace of the so-called small gold mine." Akira Uchiha painfully covered his heart. Akira Uchiha swore that even if he starved to death, he would not take another A-level mission. Orochimaru confidently told him that Tsunade had found the gold mine. Their mission was to bring back the gold mines that had been mined, and they could easily complete this A-rank mission. Who gave you the courage to say such a thing? Sure enough, don't believe a punctuation mark. Tsunade continued to analyze the situation here. You sent the letter, you know the content. It said that the gold mine here is almost mined, and let the ninja of Roguetown come to escort the gold mine. According to the content of the letter, there is a jonin, several chunin, and a mining team here. Tsunade continued. Such an obvious target, knowing the location, it should be easy to find some traces. They have to eat and live. But until now, my team hasn't found any traces here. We can only say that we have been deceived. There is no gold mine here. For a moment, the tent was quiet. Tsunade's analysis was very reasonable. The content of the letter was difficult to distinguish from Tsunade's meaning. Her opinion was the same as Akira Uchiha's. The letter was fake. Tsunade said for a long time that she wanted to give up the mission and return to Woodleaf. But whether it was true or not was decided by Woodleaf's higher-ups. Naruto believed that Akira Uchiha's team must come to carry out the mission. After all, a small gold mine is worth a lot. Woodleaf meant to let Tsunade's team, who was performing a mission nearby, come here to investigate and confirm the location of the small gold mine. Then cooperate with Orochimaru's team to stop the ninjas of Land of Rain and bring the excavated gold mine back to Woodleaf. Although this place is big, Tsunade's team has children of Inuzuka and Hyuga clans. The ninjas of these two clans are the best in investigation. It is impossible for them not to find a trace for so long. By the way, where is that ninja? Tsunade asked. He ran away. Orochimaru replied faintly. Listening to Orochimaru's tone, Tsunade took a deep breath and recovered her mood. Trash. Go home and raise pigs. You let such an important person go. Can't be more careful. What else can you do? Tsunade has already started to scold. Ah, it hurts. Tsunade slapped Akira Uchiha's wound. You didn't learn anything else but Orochimaru's sissy. You learned it very well. I just used my strength and you said it hurts. Tsunade spread the fire to Akira Uchiha's body. For a time, the whole tent was only filled with the sound of Tsunade's scolding. Except for Mikoto, the other three were scolded by Tsunade. They all knew that Tsunade couldn't be provoked at this time. God knows how much anger she has accumulated. Tsunade, tired of scolding, sat back on her stool. Akira Uchiha was massaging Tsunade's back, and Ropetree was pouring tea for Tsunade. This is troublesome. Maybe the ninja who escaped used the psychic beast to send a message in advance, and let the people here hide. Tsunade analyzed. Orochimaru nodded. That's possible. Then he continued. You didn't have enough people before. You had to keep an eye on some important roads, so you couldn't do a comprehensive search. So this time we have to do a comprehensive search. Do you know how tired I am here? I can't eat or sleep well. Every day I'm busy until midnight looking for the gold mine, and Shinakushina, and the others are still searching outside. Tsunade started to complain again. However, before she could finish her sentence, a burst of chattering laughter came from outside. Sister Tsunade, we bought the shaved ice. This kind of cute voice with a strange ending tone could only be made by Shinakushina. Tsunade's complaining voice stopped abruptly. Orochimaru and the other three looked at Tsunade, who was still angry just a moment ago. Why did Shinakushina, who said she was going to do a mission, go by shaved ice? This once again proved that the Jonin's punctuation should not be trusted. She patted her head and smiled awkwardly. She had forgotten about this. Sister Tsunade, the mixed rice you wanted is sold out. Shinakushina pushed open the curtain and walked in. Behind Shinakushina was a girl with oil paint on her face. Then came a girl with a pair of white eyes. The three girls walked in with smiles on their faces. Each of them carried bags of food in their hands. Shinakushina even had a piece of shaved ice in her mouth. Shinakushina walked in and found that there were other people in the room. Shinakushina, who was a little jumpy, saw Akira Uchiha who was massaging Tsunade's back. "Shin, you're here." She skipped over to Akira Uchiha's side. "And Mikoto. And Uncle Orochimaru." Rope Tree smiled and waited for Shinakushina to call out his name. However, Shinakushina acted as if she did not see him. "Shinakushina, seriously? How can you go out to buy things during a mission?" Tsunade began to lecture Shinakushina with a stern face. "Didn't you say that you could summon Slut and have them guard the place?" Ahaha. Tsunade was a little embarrassed. It had to be said that Tsunade was really bold. Naruto Sandame gave Shinakushina to her and asked her to protect Shinakushina. Tsunade was very casual. She let Shinakushina and the other two ninja school students go to a nearby town to buy things. Shinakushina and the others had Slut with them. If something happened, Tsunade could immediately rush over. Moreover, the Hyuga clan and the Inuzuka clan were all experts in reconnaissance. It was easy for them to avoid danger. However, Tsunade was really too bold. Of course, she might not know that Shinakushina was going to become a Manchuriki. But even if she knew, she probably wouldn't care. After all, Tsunade could casually send out a Kyuubi Manchuriki like Naruto to perform missions. Tsunade, who had made a mistake, squatted alone in the corner while Orochimaru assumed the role of commander. "My name is Orochimaru. I'm the commander of this joint mission." Orochimaru stood at the front. Orochimaru's hoarse voice came. "The goal of this mission is very simple. First, guard all the roads leading to the Land of Rain. Second, thoroughly search this area and find the small gold mine and the Land of Rain team. Then let the mission begin." Chapter 92. Although it was a joint operation between two squads, Orochimaru didn't choose to carry out a strategic deployment in a group. He directly chose a more dangerous plan. He divided the two squads of 8 people into 3 squads. Tsunade was the first squad. She took 2 sisters from the Hyuga clan and the Inuzuka clan to carry out a carpet search in this area. In Orochimaru's words, even if they turn this place upside down, they must find the small gold mine. If they can't find it, he will report Tsunade's laziness during the mission to Sandame Naruto. Although Tsunade complained about this, she had to lead the team honestly. Akira Uchiha took Mikoto, Shinakushina, and Rope Tree as the 3rd squad. They were stationed on the main road to the Land of Rain. Of course, they were relatively safe. After all, they were only active in the outermost area. And Orochimaru was stationed as the 2nd squad alone between Tsunade and Akira Uchiha. The danger of this plan rose sharply. You know, the other party has a Jonin and several Chunin. And Tsunade's team, except for her, the others are all students who haven't graduated. They can't even be considered as genin. How can they be the opponents of those big Chunin? Not to mention Akira Uchiha's team. They are all students of the ninja school. It's a real god with 3 pits. But the benefits are also obvious. Separating several people in the layout, the efficiency and the strictness of the investigation are greatly improved. This plan is also very similar to Orochimaru's personality. Like a poisonous snake hidden in the depths of the jungle, dangerous, but can go deeper. In terms of completing the mission, Orochimaru's approach is undoubtedly correct. He doesn't care about casualties. Of course, it was fine as long as the people he cared about didn't die. After Orochimaru finished briefing Tsunade's team, he turned around and spoke to Akira Uchiha. He took out a detailed border map that he had prepared beforehand. He pointed to the red mark on the map and said, "There are 6 transportation routes nearby that can quickly return to the Land of Rain. The number is quite complicated. And most of the transportation routes don't cross each other. Your team is responsible for monitoring this area." Orochimaru pointed at the map. "Chun, you are already very experienced. You must not let go of any clues. If you feel that something is wrong, you can immediately tell Slug to ask for backup. I will set up a second base nearby. Although the strength of the members of your team is not good enough, they are still very strong. However, they are stationed at the outermost, which is also the safest place." Akira Uchiha nodded. He understood Orochimaru's intentions. Orochimaru was leading the team alone. He also had to take on 2 jobs. He would set up a second base not far away from Tsunade's and Akira Uchiha's teams. With high mobility, he would support Tsunade's and Akira Uchiha's teams. Once something happens, he would immediately rush over. With Orochimaru's speed, it would only take a short while for him to cover the entire border. The seemingly simple arrangement would not only allow him to thoroughly investigate the surrounding situation, but also completely seal off the path back to the Land of Rain. Akira Uchiha took the map and left with his team members. The fastest in the team were Akira Uchiha and Mikoto, followed by Rope Tree. After all, the 3 of them have received special training in speed from Orochimaru for some time. Mikoto's mastery of the lightning element wasn't shallow. Lightning Release's activation of cells made her speed even faster than Rope Tree. The slowest was undoubtedly Shinakushina. Although Akira Uchiha had taught Shinakushina a lot of chakra's usage and control in recent years, but her speed was still a level lower than Rope Tree's. It was obvious that Akira Uchiha had tried his best to take care of Shinakushina's speed. Although Tsunade was not a speed-type ninja, he was still a jonin. Can't you be more careful? Of course, it may also be because Shinakushina's bags were like luggage for a spring outing. But fortunately, Shinakushina's physical strength was much better than the 4 of them. So Shinakushina could barely keep up. Carrying so many things and barely keeping up with them, Shinakushina was actually a talent. Akira Uchiha walked while explaining the task to the 3 of them. The main purpose of this time is to monitor the assigned location. According to Orochimaru-sensei, the location we are monitoring is relatively safer than Tsunade's team. But we can't take it lightly. In the following time, we will live together for a while. As for when to withdraw, we need to wait for Orochimaru-sensei's notice. What about the exchange of information? This was the question that Mikoto and the other 2 were more concerned about. In terms of information exchange, I will get in touch with Orochimaru-sensei through Tsunade-sensei's slug every day. At that time Orochimaru-sensei or Tsunade-sensei will communicate with us at a fixed time. What we need to do is to monitor. If there is urgent information during the investigation, you can directly send a signal flare. Then I will inform Orochimaru-sensei. We're almost there. Akira Uchiha glanced at the map in his hand. After carefully comparing it, he said to the 3 behind him, "It's in front of us." More than 2 hours were enough for Akira Uchiha and the others to reach the border area. This was the border between the Land of Rain and the Land of Fire. It was a unique forest area, and it did look a little magnificent inside. But they didn't have time to enjoy the scenery. Akira Uchiha stopped in a forest. In order to facilitate concealment and investigation, our tent was set up in this forest. Akira Uchiha said to Shinakushina and the others. Mikoto has the Sharingan, and Mikoto and I have better detection abilities. Let's explore the surrounding situation. Rope Tree, go find a suitable place to set up the tent. That's all we need. As for the water source, Mikoto and I will try our best to find it. After all, the next period of time will be long, and the supplies we brought are not particularly sufficient. Okay. Rope Tree nodded. At present, he didn't have any detection ninjutsu or means. Shinakushina also didn't awaken any perception ability like Kagura's mind's eye. This distribution is undoubtedly more reasonable. We will be back in 2 hours. By the way, this signal flare is for you. If we don't come back in 2 hours, Rope Tree, Throw this signal flare into the air. What about me, Shin? Shinakushina asked. As for Shinakushina, you go and pick up some firewood. Also, help Rope Tree set up the tent. If you have any questions, you can ask Rope Tree. Akira Uchiha looked at Shinakushina and said. Then, I will leave the logistics to you. Akira Uchiha waved at them and left with Mikoto. What's next, Shun? Akira Uchiha, who was moving in the forest, didn't check the surrounding vegetation, nor did he look for possible water sources. He was running around in the forest as if he was lost, and no one knew what he was looking for. Chapter 93. Akira Uchiha, who was still on the ground, stood up from the ground. In the face of Mikoto's question, he didn't answer directly, but pointed to the ground. Mikoto, look at the ground carefully. Do you find anything? Mikoto nodded seriously, and then the Sharingan appeared in her eyes, and began to explore the ground. Although the Sharingan is not as good as the Byakugan in scouting, the vision is much better than ordinary eyes. But Mikoto, you use the Sharingan to do such a small thing. Indra's coffin can't be closed. There should be some paths here before. However, they have been covered by weeds and leaves. Mikoto looked for a while. Indeed, it should be a path that has been abandoned for a long time. Akira Uchiha looked at Mikoto. But this path is not marked on the map. Akira Uchiha sighed. So the enemy ninja may pass through this abandoned path. Mikoto said after Akira Uchiha's words. Yes. Our current task is to find all the paths that don't exist on the map. Akira Uchiha bit his finger and made a hand seal. Summoning technique. Then a large number of snakes came out from the summoning array in Akira Uchiha's hand. Although this kind of ordinary python has no lethality, it has a large number of them, and is particularly good at hiding. As animals, they can blend into the forest much faster than Akatsuki and Uchiha-chin. In addition, they belong to the group of contractual summoning beasts. To some extent, they are connected in thought, and of course, they are also mobile. Once they find something unusual, they can inform Akira Uchiha at the first time. This is also the reason why Akira Uchiha's team has no ninja in the scouting field. These snakes were more than enough. However, with such a large number of snakes, they couldn't carry out missions that were too difficult. Their intelligence is very low. It was already very difficult for them to find a path in the forest that was not covered. However, it was already very convenient. Watergate's toads didn't have this ability. Toads didn't have the ability to communicate over a large area. Therefore, it was said that there were gains and losses. While having a tongue that could be long or short, tolerant, and flexible, it was necessary to sacrifice something else. Watergate did not know, but Jiraiya certainly did not envy Orochimaru. Aren't we going to monitor other places? Mikoto asked in confusion. There are many trees in the Fire Nation. These trees that have been growing for decades, or even centuries, are the most natural barrier. However, it is also the most dangerous maze. Akira Uchiha touched a huge tree. If it was in his previous life, such a tree would definitely be a world record. With just a few trees, Akira Uchiha's house in the Second Ring Road was already ridiculous, but in a slightly more remote place, he should be able to buy a decent house. Of course, it was more likely to be passively donated to the country. Akira Uchiha, who collected his thoughts, explained, if you wander around here without anyone to guide you, getting lost and starving to death or being trapped for a few days and nights is completely normal. No one dares to guarantee that they will be able to walk out of the forest without following a specific route. Therefore, if the Land of Rain's transport team wants to smoothly take the gold mine out of the Fire Nation's forest, they must take a fixed route. Akira Uchiha analyzed Mikoto's problem. What we need to do now is to find one or more possible routes. Otherwise, how can we monitor such a large area with only a few people? Akira Uchiha said with a smile. Akira Uchiha's words were very reasonable. After Mikoto raised her own question, she did not say anything else. After the snakes left, Akira Uchiha clapped his hands. Well, while the snakes are looking for a path, let's look for a water source again. In the forest near the Land of Rain, it should be easy to find a water source. Akira Uchiha did not continue to speak, but looked for a direction and walked down. Are there traces of animal activity here? Akira Uchiha's few words had aroused Mikoto's curiosity. Akira Uchiha did not speak. He just smelled the smell in the air. There was a bit of bloody smell in this direction. But this was different from the smell of blood that people emitted. The bloody smell in this direction belonged to herbivores. Animals would live near a water source because water was a necessity for them to survive. Akira Uchiha was now walking in a direction with bloody smell, and it was very likely that he would be able to touch the water source. Sure enough, after walking for nearly 20 minutes, a flowing stream appeared in front of Akira Uchiha and Mikoto. Mikoto showed a surprised expression. Mikoto took out the sealing scroll and removed the seal, and suddenly a few empty buckets fell out. If it's full, it should be able to last for a long time. Akira Uchiha nodded and said, if it's full, it should be able to take a bath once or twice. Mikoto also nodded and said, there was a natural gap between the attention of men and women. The water was quickly filled, and Mikoto refilled the buckets with water and put them back into the sealing scroll. Rope Tree also sent a message through a reserved snake. He and Shinakushina had already prepared the tent and some other things. While they were at it, they also asked if Uchiha-chan needed any help. Rope Tree and the others chose to set up camp in the forest on the other side. They put the tent in the depths of the forest. Although it was also very humid, it was really well hidden. Akira Uchiha and Mikoto went back the way they came. You're back. Shinakushina greeted Akira Uchiha and Mikoto when they came back. That's right. Mikoto waved the scroll in her hand. There's a lot of water in here, we can take a bath. Shinakushina showed an excited smile. Alright, where's Rope Tree? Why don't I see him? Akira Uchiha was puzzled. He said he wanted to catch some prey for dinner tonight, Shinakushina said. Akira Uchiha nodded. After that period of training, Rope Tree was already very good at hunting. Big White slithered down Akira Uchiha's pants to Akira Uchiha's neck. She reported the situation in a low voice. Akira Uchiha stood up. The snakes that were released have confirmed the most likely route. I'll go confirm the situation later and set up a simple trap. Do you want to go, Shinakushina? Akira Uchiha looked at Shinakushina. This was very likely to be Shinakushina's last mission. Akira Uchiha wanted to take her out more often. Shinakushina nodded excitedly. Then Mikoto, it's too dangerous to leave the tent unguarded. You stay here and watch. If Rope Tree comes back, make some food. Oh right. Don't let Rope Tree do anything if you don't want to have diarrhea at night. After some simple packing, Akira Uchiha led Shinakushina on the path to confirm the forest route. She was very happy to be able to go on a mission with Akira Uchiha. Chun, is our position very important? Akira Uchiha glanced at Shinakushina. Then he seriously considered the allocation of the other teams. He felt that he couldn't go against his conscience and nod his head. They were assigned to the outermost area. They were the least important. However, he still said, that's right. We're the last trump card. It's like playing cards. We're the trump card. No one else can pass us. Akira Uchiha used a small analogy. But Sister Tsunade told me that a trump card like the trump card won't have any impact if it's played at the end. You have to play it at the beginning. If the opponent plays a pair of 3, you blow it up. Blow it up until the dealer starts to doubt life. Sure enough, the fat sheep's first move was extraordinary. Chapter 94. According to the information sent back by the snakes, on the left side of the main road, there is a suspected abandoned path. There are very obvious traces of a carriage there. Apart from that, the snakes didn't find anything else. Of course, the main reason is that the intelligence of the snakes as scouts is too low. The intelligence of hundreds of snakes added together can't make up the intelligence of a standard rope tree. So at this time, you can't ask for more. It's not easy to send such detailed information to Akira Uchiha. Between the trees, Akira Uchiha and Shinakushina, who were constantly jumping, spinning and shuttling, quickly approached their destination. They carefully explored the weeds for a while, and confirmed such a road. There are 6 roads on the map, plus the 2 roads just found. Now there are 8 roads. It's a bit difficult for 4 people to watch 8 roads. But they have to persist in the difficult situation. They have to know that the organization is more difficult than you. Tsunade with 2 newbies search such a big forest. And Orochimaru, 1 person, has to work 2 jobs. The leaders above didn't complain. How can they, the grassroots, dare to complain? So they can only tighten their belts. After Akira Uchiha determined the road, he began to set up traps. There are only 4 of them. It's impossible to watch these roads all the time. The so-called simple trap was generally a thin line drawn on the surface of the road. If people accidentally step on it, it will trigger the trap. As for what would be triggered, whether it was a kunai or an explosive talisman, that would depend on each person's preference. Although this kind of trap is simple, it can also kill ninjas. It's not like some ninjutsu that looks very powerful, but can never hit or kill people. During this period of time, we will be mainly monitoring this route and the other 7 routes. If it's your turn to monitor, if there is something wrong, remember to quickly inform me. Or you and Mikoto can form a team, Akira Uchiha said after thinking for a while. Although Tsunade could safely hand over Shinakushina to Akira Uchiha, he couldn't let go of himself like that. If something happened to Kushina, wouldn't he be the one to take the blame in the end? They were all people with powerful backgrounds. He didn't want to inherit the title of Woodleaf Walk King. Then can I be in the same team as you? Shinakushina asked, blushing. Her red hair was tied behind her back, and there was a butterfly-shaped hairpin on her forehead. She was wearing a black ninja outfit, which made her look very cute. Akira Uchiha patted Shinakushina's head. There are too many paths. Rope Tree and I have to be in a group. If Shun and Rope Tree can do it, then Mikoto and I can do it as well. It will be safer for you and Mikoto to be together. A man who cannot protect a woman is an incompetent man. Safety is not something a man should pursue. Akira Uchiha revealed a big smile. Shinakushina's face became redder and redder, like a tomato. She felt dizzy, as though there was nothing to be afraid of. By the time the 2 of them returned, Rope Tree had already returned from his hunt. Not bad, he had caught a fast-swimming frog. Mikoto and Shinakushina went to prepare dinner. Tonight, they were eating a fast-swimming frog. It was said to be tender and chewy. Of course, the above paragraph was taken from the Pokemon Cooking Guide, China chapter. Akira Uchiha picked up the tea that Mikoto had brewed and took a sip. The tea was still very hot, and it emitted a very fragrant smell. Rope Tree revealed a proud smile. What do you think? The prey I caught is not bad, right? Thank me for not letting you guys eat rations tonight. Akira Uchiha laughed. Then I should thank your girlfriend. I should thank her for not appearing for 9 years, allowing you to focus on ninjutsu and become so outstanding. I hope she won't appear for the next few decades. After dinner, the few of them made do in the tent. Time passed quickly and peacefully. Within 3 days, Orochimaru came to meet with Akira Uchiha. To put it bluntly, it was just an exchange of information. Akira Uchiha told Orochimaru about the new route and the time of the surveillance. And Orochimaru told Akira Uchiha that neither he nor Tsunade found any trace. So even Orochimaru began to suspect that all this was just a scam. But what was the purpose of the other party? Orochimaru decided that if they didn't find anything in the last 3 days, they would declare the mission a failure. They could return to Woodleaf in 3 days. In this boring atmosphere, it was easy to feel dizzy. They were still students of the ninja school. Most of the students should have returned to school by now. Only the few of them were still in this desolate primeval forest, trying to survive in the wilderness. Thinking of Watergate's confused expression when he returned to school and found that they were not there, Akira Uchiha couldn't help but laugh. Today was the last day. Akira Uchiha, Mikoto, Shinakushina, and Rope Tree squatted together under a big tree, playing with crickets. Tomorrow this mission will be over. We can finally return to Woodleaf, Rope Tree said excitedly. After his cricket knocked over Akira Uchiha's cricket, he was very happy. That letter must be fake. Land of Rain shouldn't have the guts to come. Rope Tree at this time turned into a primary school student Conan, analyzing the current situation. If Land of Rain ninjas came and were discovered, then it would be considered an invasion. They wouldn't dare to do that. Akira Uchiha laughed. Rope tree. According to statistics, more than 95% of the people who died in a fight were the ones who attacked first. Do you know why? Why? Because the people who didn't die will say that the dead ones attacked first. Akira Uchiha found a particularly big cricket and rejoined the battle. Similarly, if we are all dead, no one will know that Land of Rain attacked first. So your hypothesis is not valid. After a few fights, even Shinakushina, who liked to play this game, felt bored. While they were waiting to return to Woodleaf tomorrow, they didn't know that danger was approaching step by step. Chapter 95. At dusk, the sun was slanting like a dull old man. The four shadows on the tree were elongated. The dusk of July still had a trace of dryness. The wind blew through the mountains, and the orange dusk was very peaceful. Stepping on a branch, as the leaves swayed, the sun seemed to shake a little. A team of ninjas in yellow ninja clothes kept jumping between the trees. There were 4 people in total, 3 men and 1 woman. The leader was a ninja with black-rimmed glasses. He wore a turban on his head, and had a mole under his left eye. The remaining 3 were all kids in their teens. At a glance, it could be seen that these people were ninjas, but none of them wore a forehead protector. Sakata Jounin was the leader of this team. Their team had been stationed at the border with the army for a week. The rumor of war had been spreading around for a long time. It's just that the village's higher-ups had been letting this rumor go. The Land of Rain and the Land of Grass were in a stalemate. Now the war only needed a fuse. Most of the ninjas in the village were now very excited. They had survived in this barren soil for too long. They desperately needed fertile land. A few days ago, their team suddenly received an A-level mission. In the mission, Sakamoto was ordered to take his team from the land of Kawano into the Land of Fire. They were to find a group of ninjas from the Land of Rain in the Land of Fire. It sounded very complicated, especially in such a tense environment. If they were not careful, it could lead to a world war. So their team changed into clothes without the logo of Sakura Shinobu Village, and crossed the Land of Kawano into the Land of Fire. After several days of running, they were all exhausted. The leftmost, black-haired teenager couldn't help but ask, Sakamoto-sensei, the intelligence said that the other side has 2 jonins. Are we enough? He looked around. After all, this team except for Sakamoto-sensei was a jonin, the rest were genin, and one of them was a scout ninja. Sakamoto at the front laughed. It's okay. This mission, we are not the only team. There is another team that set off before us. Therefore, after finding those ninjas, they just need to send a signal. There is no one around here, so you don't have to worry about being discovered by the ninjas of the Land of Fire. Furthermore, Sakamoto-sensei pushed his black-rimmed glasses and said in a confident tone, Kimura Genin, you have to remember one thing. 2 jonins, I alone can easily deal with them, no matter who they are. Sensei Sakamoto, why are you so confident? Kimura continued to ask, but he could no longer hide the admiration in his heart. If you choose the path of a ninja, the path under your feet is very narrow. Perhaps you will feel uneasy. Then his confidence began to waver. At this time, if you don't even have confidence in yourself, then you won't be far from death. Furthermore, Sakamoto's eyes flashed. I'm Sakamoto. At this time, Kimura had already turned into a super fanboy. Sakamoto glanced at the student on his right, and realized that there was something wrong with him. So he asked, Watanabe, what's wrong? It's nothing, Sakamoto-sensei. It's just that the environment here is really humid. I feel like I'm getting wet. Watanabe complained. I've only been here for a few days, and I'm not feeling well. It's obviously sunny now, but our village is the driest. I hate water. Watanabe continued. Well, that's nothing if you go to the Land of Rain. It rains every day. Kimura replied. So the weather in our village is the best. Not only is it dry, but we don't need to take a bath. I hate water. Watanabe thought for a moment and said seriously. For a time, several people nodded in agreement. The feeling of not taking a bath is really good. By the way, Sakamoto-sensei, have you been to Woodleaf? Watanabe asked. Sakamoto, who was leading the way, pushed his black-rimmed glasses and was about to answer. His little fanboy Kimura said, "Of course I've been there. In the 5 major countries, is there any place that Sakamoto-sensei hasn't been to? How is that possible? How is it impossible? Even if it's the Naruto building, Sakamoto-sensei can go there if he wants to." Watanabe turned into a super fanboy. "Ahem, that's enough," Sakamoto-sensei said. "After all, this was a bit too much. You two guys. We're now on a mission in the Land of Fire. This information is the information that the village worked hard to get. We must get this gold mine. The daimyo has been trying to embezzle our finances. Acquiring this gold mine will greatly alleviate our financial pressure. So you have to take it seriously." Suddenly, the girl who had been silent at the back raised her hand. "What's wrong, Misase? Did you find something?" Sakamoto-sensei asked. "In front, chakra ninja." The girl's words were very short. The girl's style of speaking was like this, but the 3 of them understood. Sakamoto-sensei began to raise his hand. The 3 of them spread out and surrounded the only sensor ninja in the team. "It seems that we found the Land of Rain ninja first. I didn't expect this mission to be so simple." Sakamoto-sensei smiled. "Prepare for battle," Sakamoto-sensei said. At the same time, Akira Uchiha was standing next to the tent. "Mikoto, what's the situation?" Akira Uchiha, who had just returned from several surveillance routes, came to the place where they were stationed after recording the information. "Nothing, everything is quiet. There's no movement of the traps or signs of contact. Even the snakes didn't move. Then it's time to get ready to leave." Akira Uchiha clapped his hands. "We just need to wait for Orochimaru-sensei's notice, then we can go back." Shinakushina and Mikoto began to tidy up the surrounding tents. "Since there's nothing here, I'll take a look ahead." Akira Uchiha prepared to walk along the road. "Okay, be careful." Rope Tree nodded. "The most important thing for a ninja is to be vigilant." They didn't say anything. Suddenly, Akira Uchiha's big white came out and buzzed in Akira Uchiha's ear. Akira Uchiha's face suddenly became ugly. "What's the matter?" Mikoto asked. Big White said that there's chakra's fluctuation nearby. Akira Uchiha said. "Is it the Land of Rain ninja?" Rope Tree asked. "No, it's from the direction of the Land of Rivers." "What?" Mikoto and Shinakushina were surprised. Their mission this time was to be a small team transporting gold mines from the country of rain. Their investigation range was also a small distance between the Land of Fire and the Land of Rain. If the Land of Rain ninja appeared, they wouldn't be surprised. But after waiting for so long, they didn't see the Land of Rain ninja, but they did see the ninja from the Land of Rivers. The Land of Rivers was sandwiched between the Land of Fire and the Land of Sand. If the ninja appeared from the Land of Rivers, then the identity of these ninjas was self-evident. Chapter 96. From Big White's perception, one of the four had a lot of chakra. The other three had very little. From this, it could be determined that the other party was also a standard configuration, a Jonin and 3 Genin. Of course, no matter who the other party was, crossing the border and coming here was now an enemy. This place was so remote, but a team of ninjas came here to carry out a mission. No matter how you looked at it, it was too much of a coincidence. Therefore, to a large extent, the other party was also here for the gold mine. As for how this information was leaked, there were too many reasons. Land of Rain, the ninja who escaped, and even Wood Leaf could be the reason for the information leak. However, this was not something Akira Uchiha cared about. They had already given up on this mission. But the sudden arrival of the ninjas had already disrupted their deployment. What they needed to do was to survive. "Chun, have you notified Orochimaru-sensei?" Rope Tree stood beside Akira Uchiha and asked. "I have already notified Orochimaru-sensei and Tsunade-sensei." Akira Uchiha nodded. "What did they say?" "Orochimaru-sensei hasn't responded yet, but Tsunade-sensei is rushing over." "Then what do we do now? Leave and then rush to meet up with Tsunade-sensei?" Mikoto asked. Akira Uchiha shook his head. "No, there's no need. The other party is now quickly approaching us." Akira Uchiha explained. They also have a perceptive ninja in their team. We have been discovered. From the amount of chakra, the other party should be a jonin and 3 genin, one of which is a perceptive ninja. So purely from the configuration, we have an overall advantage. Akira Uchiha nodded. Huh. Shin Ikushina showed a confused expression. We have an overall advantage? Where did that come from? The other party is a jonin and a genin. No matter how you look at it, we have 4 students on our side. Akira Uchiha continued his analysis. The other party's speed is very fast. They are very close to us. If we run now, we won't be able to outrun the other party's jonin. Besides, there are traps that we've set up here. We just need to make good use of this place, lure the other party into the trap, delay them, and wait for Tsunade-sensei to arrive. The other 3 had no objections. But to stall the other party, there must be someone who can stall the other party's jonin. Alright, let's go greet the guests first. Swish. Swish. The group of 4 immediately disappeared from the tent. Manase, who was running at high speed, suddenly stopped. Sakamoto, who was at the front, immediately signaled for everyone to stop. What's wrong? Sakamoto asked. In front, the enemy is coming. The girl named Manase quickly said. Attention, the target has appeared. Sakamoto said softly, and the other 2 nodded. He took out a signal flare. Although he said that he was going to fight 2 jonins, but for the safety of his cute subordinates, he had to send a signal flare to the other team to help. There was nothing wrong with this reason. Just as he was about to fire the signal flare, 4 ninjas suddenly appeared in front of him. It's just that these ninjas were only about 10 years old. Sakamoto signaled Manase with his eyes. Manase shook her head. Only them. Sakamoto nodded and put back the signal flare he had taken out. He laughed and said, Am I being too cautious? It's my turn to make a fortune, Sakamoto. If this is the case, I don't even need to make a move. Sakamoto carefully looked at the ninjas in front of him. They didn't show any signs of using transformation jutsu, and they didn't hide their chakra aura. They were undoubtedly genin. Genin facing a jonin like this, he didn't know whether to say it was stupid or courageous. Akira Uchiha's group of 4 stood on the tree and looked at the ninjas in front of them. Who are you? Akira Uchiha wanted to stall for time. This lowly one is Sakamoto, what's the matter? Akira Uchiha smiled. Sakura Shinobu Village is really big, sending jonin-level ninjas. Now the 5 major ninja countries are in a period of extreme tension. Sakura Shinobu Village sent you elite ninjas to the land of fire. Don't tell me you want to start a war. Akira Uchiha continued. The 3 brats were shocked. Only Sakamoto laughed and said, Brat, what are you talking about? We are not Sakura Shinobu. I hate Sakura Shinobu the most. Yes, I also hate Sakura Shinobu the most. Not to mention that they are rude. They don't like to take baths. Don't you think so? Akira Uchiha nodded. Kimura was a little angry and wanted to rush over, but Watanabe pulled him back. Rope Tree's body began to tense, ready to fight at any time. Do you want to deal with these salted fish now? Rope Tree asked. Sakamoto was stunned when he heard this sentence. Salted fish, you really dare to say that? Although this battle was unavoidable, the brown-haired brat's words made him very unhappy. For some reason, Sakamoto suddenly had the urge to blow him up with an explosive charm. So in the battle later he prioritized to deal with this kid. Rope Tree noticed the gaze that swept over, and only felt a chill in his crotch. Hey, you are not Land of Rain ninjas, right? Sakamoto suddenly asked. How do you know? Akira Uchiha asked. It's very simple. I have long heard that Wood Leaf's genin are very powerful and can't be provoked. I didn't believe it before, but now I understand that it's true. Sakamoto laughed. But since Wood Leaf's people are here, it seems that the information has been leaked. Have you found the gold mine? Where is your team leader? Uchiha-chan just chuckled softly. We're only here to kill your people. Nothing else. Well, just catch a few of you. The dead are more reliable than the living. Sakamoto pushed his glasses and stepped forward. Just as Sakamoto moved, "Pa!" a crisp sound rang. Sakamoto suddenly felt a murderous aura in the forest. This biting cold murderous aura made his pores open, and his body couldn't help but tremble. Sakamoto's hair on the back of his head stood up in an instant, and he suddenly turned back. The wind blew through the mountains, and at this time, the dusk was quiet. In the air the leaves swayed, and the sun seemed to shake with it. In the forest, a pitch-black kunai suddenly rushed out, breaking through the wind. The kunai immediately shot through Kimura's head. Blood and body flew up. The black-haired boy on the opposite side had appeared in front of Sakamoto without him knowing. Sakamoto's first reaction was actually to retreat, but his seemingly hurried footsteps couldn't avoid the boys strolling forward. When Sakamoto swung his kunai at the first time, his raised kunai was also blocked by the boy. Sakamoto's whole body was thrown in the air. Chapter 97. Sakamoto, who was flying in the air, hit a big tree. Cold blood spilled on Sakamoto's face. The surroundings became quiet. It was as if he was the only one in the world. The surroundings became deathly silent. The corpses of his 3 subordinates were lying in front of him. His heart was also in pain. Illusion. Sakamoto immediately disrupted his chakra flow. Everything in front of him disappeared, and only a few seconds passed. The scene returned to a few seconds ago. Even the others didn't realize that he was in an illusion. Sakamoto carefully recalled that he did hear a finger snap just now. It seemed to be an auditory illusion. Brat, good illusion. You can be proud that you can make me fall into an illusion. Sakamoto showed a look of appreciation. I wanted to say, is there no one in Woodleaf Village? They actually sent you 4 brats. But now it seems that your strength is not bad. You are qualified to die in my hands. Sakamoto put away his original face, and a mocking expression appeared on his face. Akira Uchiha didn't say anything. The illusion was broken, and it didn't matter. He was just casually probing. Sure enough, no one who can become a jonin is simple. Akira Uchiha stared at Sakamoto, and then said, Sakamoto, leave it to me. Shinakushina, Mikoto, Rope Tree, the remaining 3 genin will be left to you. Can you handle it? The 3 of them nodded and locked onto one of them. Akira Uchiha tilted his head and signaled to Sakamoto. Sakamoto also had the intention to leave. The opponent's illusion was too terrifying. He could resist it, but his subordinates couldn't. When immortals fight, it will always affect the weak. It's better to leave. Akira Uchiha and Sakamoto's figure flashed and ran deeper into the forest. While running, Sakamoto pulled out a short knife from his back. The moment Sakamoto pulled out his dagger, his entire aura began to change. The sharp killing intent of the blade seemed to be able to tear someone's body apart in an instant. Sakamoto rushed over. Akira Uchiha didn't expect that Sakamoto, who looked gentle with his glasses, would have such an unrestrained fighting style. This was really powerful. Chi. The 2 bodies collided with each other. Akira Uchiha's kunai blocked Sakamoto's katana. However, Sakamoto's blade didn't weaken in the slightest. The moment the kunai blocked the short blade, it immediately split open a large hole. What a sharp knife! Sakamoto's blade dipped downwards, slashing towards Akira Uchiha's body. His whole body also dipped down along with the blade, kicking towards Akira Uchiha. Akira Uchiha suddenly raised his head. With a ping, the blade and the kunai collided several times. Then, the entire kunai was completely broken. Akira Uchiha kicked towards Sakamoto's chest. His empty left hand formed a seal in an instant. Fire release, great fireball technique. Looking at the huge fireball coming towards him, Sakamoto slashed at the fireball, cutting it in half. Swish. However, behind the split fireball, there were several shurikens hidden. Under the cover of the fireball, they collided with each other, then turned into dazzling angles, rushing towards Sakamoto. Sakamoto slightly glanced to the side. Such a shuriken throwing technique. This black-haired young man was from the Uchiha clan. Bam! The kunai stabbed into the round wood. Sakamoto's figure disappeared into the air. The moment Sakamoto disappeared, Akira Uchiha did not hesitate at all. His body began to move at high speed. Body flicker technique. Then a black light flashed. Akira Uchiha's body suddenly appeared on top of a big tree. He did not hesitate at all. The kunai in his hand directly slashed towards Sakamoto's head. Sakamoto, on the other hand, leaned back and dodged the fatal blow. His reaction speed was not weak at all. But the kunai still slashed through his hair. A strand of black hair fluttered in the air. The blade in Sakamoto's hand slashed towards Akira Uchiha 3 times in a row, but was blocked by the kunai. Then, the katana swung with all its might, and the katana's blade hit Chin squarely. Akira Uchiha was still in the same place. However, it looked as if the blade had hit something in the air. Afterimage. Akira Uchiha kicked, and Sakamoto's body flew out from the big tree. Sakamoto's blade stabbed into a tree, stopping his body. The two of them stared at each other like this. "You're a sensory ninja?" Sakamoto pushed up his glasses. Just now he used the substitution technique, and Akira Uchiha instantly sensed his location. Only a sensory ninja could do this. Sakamoto tried to get information from the other party. Of course, Akira Uchiha would not tell him that he had Dabai on him. As a spiritual contract, Dabai could use infrared to sense the other party's location, and tell Akira Uchiha his location. Ninjas were like this, understanding each other in battle. Akira Uchiha was also happy to drag things out with the other party. The other party was not someone he could easily take down. Every jonin had their own trump cards. Even with his strongest physical skills, he could only gain a slight advantage in the probing just now. The air suddenly fell silent for a few seconds. Just when Akira Uchiha thought that this was the end of the standoff, Sakamoto seemed to have thought of something. "That teleportation technique just now, you're the son of Uchiha Kagami." Sakamoto's voice carried a hint of surprise, but also excitement. "Huh." Akira Uchiha was stunned. "Is my name really that famous?" He was already so low-key, but he was still F*King recognized. "That's right, with this teleportation technique, you must be the son of Uchiha Kagami." Sakamoto suddenly became a bit nervous. Could it be that this person is a fan of my father's Uchiha Kagami? Akira Uchiha's thoughts were instantly twisted. He shook his dusty clothes. "That's right, since you found out, I won't beat around the bush." Akira Uchiha was about to admit it, but Sakamoto stared at Akira Uchiha through the black-rimmed glasses. "My sensei died in the hands of Uchiha Kagami in the last Shinobi World War. I heard that he died in the mission, but I didn't expect that he had a son." Sakamoto suddenly laughed, but his laughter was a bit scary. "Well, enemy. How many people did his father kill? He didn't leave any property for himself, but left a lot of enemies." After recognizing Akira Uchiha, Sakamoto's right-hand katana directly slashed towards Akira Uchiha. His katana's speed was also ridiculously fast, beyond the range of ordinary ninjas' reflexes. It seems that he didn't use his full strength just now. Facing this aggressive katana, Akira Uchiha snapped his fingers again, and genjutsu immediately invaded Sakamoto's brain. Although Akira Uchiha's snap of his fingers can't kill half of the shinobi world, but it's enough to stop the other party's actions. Akira Uchiha's kunai directly attacked Sakamoto's chest. However, this time Sakamoto woke up much faster than before. Just when the kunai was about to be inserted into Sakamoto's chest, Sakamoto woke up. At this moment, the katana in his hand was blocking his chest, and the kunai couldn't go any further. Sakamoto stretched out his left hand, and a kunai appeared in his hand. The kunai cut Akira Uchiha's arm. Akira Uchiha felt pain. Sakamoto was surprised. Then Akira Uchiha's fist hit Sakamoto's chest. The feeling that came from Sakamoto's body was not like a fist at all, but more like a heavy hammer. That strange force made him retreat, and his body was like a kite with a broken string, flying back more than 20 meters. Sakamoto couldn't catch his breath, and he spat out a big mouthful of blood. Akira Uchiha was waiting for this moment. He led the other party here because there was a trap here. Looking at Sakamoto's body falling to the ground, Akira Uchiha immediately made a hand seal. Then the sound of the explosive seal tearing came. Suddenly, a huge explosion sounded in front of Akira Uchiha. The heat wave caused by the explosion blew Akira Uchiha's clothes and made a fluttering sound. Chapter 98. Looking at the explosion in front of him, Akira Uchiha sat down on the ground. His tense body couldn't hold on any longer. He suddenly felt a little dizzy in his head. He didn't know if it was the aftereffect of the battle with Jonin. Akira Uchiha stood up. He wanted to see if Sakamoto was blown to pieces by the explosive talisman. The smoke dispersed. On the ground, there was no scene of flesh and blood flying as Akira Uchiha expected. What remained on the ground were traces of the use of earth release. He saw pieces of broken walls piled up together. The earth wall was blown apart by the explosive talisman. A deathly pale hand suddenly stretched out from under the wall. "Ha ha ha, bastard. I was almost killed by you." Sakamoto's voice came. Akira Uchiha's face sank. He recognized this ninjutsu. Earth release multiple earth flow walls. It seems that at the last moment, Sakamoto used earth release to block the explosion of the explosive talisman. As expected of a jonin, Sakamoto's hand pushed away a stone, and then his head was exposed. However, his hair had been burnt. The wind blew and turned into debris. Damn it. In the future, if anyone tells me that with Leaf's genin is easy to beat, I will beat him until even his mother can't recognize him. Sakamoto sat on the ground. His hands and body were constantly tingling with pain. The burnt black skin and flesh emitted the smell of barbecue. These were all the places that were injured by the explosive talisman just now. His original yellow ninja clothes had also become tattered, and his body was covered in blood. Blood kept flowing out of his mouth and ears. Only the black-rimmed glasses were still intact, and were not affected by the explosion at all. If he wasn't a ninja who specialized in earth release, if he didn't instantly form a seal at the last moment of life and death, then he would have died in the explosive talisman. This bastard. Akira Uchiha panted, and a kunai appeared in his hand. The distance was a little far, so illusions were not useful. The kunai still shot out from Akira Uchiha's hand. The kunai was like a cannonball, shooting directly at Sakamoto's head. The injured Sakamoto did not react in time. Everything was over. Akira Uchiha panted. However, the kunai that was aiming at Sakamoto's head flew past Sakamoto's ear. The sharp pain jolted Sakamoto awake. What's going on? Akira Uchiha shook his head. Why? This shouldn't be the case. Why couldn't he hit him? Akira Uchiha felt a sharp pain in his arm. He looked at his arm. His arm, which had been scratched by Sakamoto's kunai, was now purple. Kunai was actually poisonous. There's poison in your kunai? Akira Uchiha raised his head. Sakamoto covered his ears. That's right. I did it on purpose when you punched me. I purposely revealed a flaw and was careless. It was just a facade. It was just to scratch you. I just didn't expect that your punch would be so powerful, and then I fell into your trap. Who is Tsunade to you? My teacher, how is it? Are you afraid? Akira Uchiha laughed. Well, it's indeed scary. Uchiha's orphan, Tsunade's student. You, a genin, can actually fight with a jonin like me like this. You can be proud. I'm a little reluctant to kill you. Sakura Shinobu's poison is indeed not a rumor. Akira Uchiha felt the poison in his wound spreading. Now I have two pieces of good news for you. Which one do you want to hear? Sakamoto smiled. Akira Uchiha and Sakamoto were both talking nonsense. One was stalling for time, waiting for Tsunade's arrival. The other was replying to chakra. The earth release just now almost used up all of Sakamoto's chakra, and the injuries on his body also made him very painful. Most importantly, Sakamoto was waiting for the poison to erupt. The opposite brat was too strange, making him a little unsure of what trump card he had. I like to hear good news. Akira Uchiha patted the dust on his body. The good news is that this poison is a new one that has just been developed. It hasn't been completely developed yet. You're very lucky. Under this poison, you can still hold on for 40 minutes without dying. What's the bad news? The bad news is that until now, there is no antidote for this poison. And I can kill you in 10 minutes. Before his voice fell, Sakamoto's figure quickly approached Akira Uchiha. A short sword appeared in Sakamoto's hand, and he waved it towards Akira Uchiha's back. At the moment when the short sword came, Akira Uchiha's genjutsu covered his head. Sakamoto's footsteps stopped. For Sakamoto's words, Akira Uchiha couldn't believe all of them. Ninjas are deceiving, deceiving others, and deceiving their own people. The most powerful ninja can even deceive himself. Judging from the purple color on his arm, it really wasn't a strong poison. In a short time, there won't be any problems, but if this kind of intense battle continues for a long time, not to mention 40 minutes, half an hour, or even 20 minutes, this slow poison will spread all over Akira Uchiha's body. In other words, Akira Uchiha must solve the genjutsu in front of him in 20 minutes to ensure his survival. And he can't have a fierce physical battle. Sakamoto, who broke the genjutsu, held the short sword and appeared behind Akira Uchiha. However, Akira Uchiha didn't move. Give up, kid? Sakamoto's short sword slashed Akira Uchiha's body. But Akira Uchiha turned into smoke. Shadow clone. Sakamoto was stunned. What's going on? The one who chatted with him for a long time was a shadow clone. After showing off, he wants to run? Chapter 99. Akira Uchiha sat alone on the branches of a big tree. At this time, the sun was about to set, and the last rays of light were still shining on his face. Akira Uchiha quickly chewed the soldier food pill in his mouth and recovered his chakra. He was in a very bad state now. There was less than a quarter of chakra in his body. In the seal scroll that was developed together with Watergate, there was more than twice the amount of chakra. When Akira Uchiha's kunai missed Sakamoto, he immediately began to run. Then he used a shadow clone to stall for time. The memory of the shadow clone had just been transmitted back. Akira Uchiha already knew that he was poisoned. The original purple wound on his arm had now turned dark purple. In order not to spread the poison even more, he could only stop and rest while recovering his chakra. Sakamoto said that the poison would completely break out in 40 minutes. However, Akira Uchiha felt that if he fought, he would die in 20 minutes. And now 5 minutes had passed. He had just contacted Orochimaru sensei. It turned out that Orochimaru had met Sakura Shinobu's other team. Orochimaru and Tsunade, who had taken care of that team, were rushing over. In other words, he had to hold on for another 10 minutes? So there wasn't much time left for Akira Uchiha. Akira Uchiha touched his head. He only felt dizzy and began to let his imagination run wild. Just now he mistook a branch for Shinakushina. What he was afraid of would appear in front of his eyes. Was it because of the poison or the cause of death that made Akira Uchiha have some hallucinations that he had never seen before? Akira Uchiha patted his head and forced himself to be alert. However, as time passed, the scene of Mikoto and the others being killed kept appearing in front of his eyes. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get rid of it. It was like an image. Dabai suddenly popped out and reminded Akira Uchiha. Is he here? Sakamoto, who wasn't a scout ninja, found him. It seemed that the poison could guide him. Sakura Shinobu's poison was really troublesome. A figure suddenly appeared in front of Akira Uchiha. So you're here? Sakamoto's voice sounded. Akira Uchiha looked up, but several Sakamoto appeared in front of him. Sakamoto was carrying something in his hand, but Chin couldn't see it clearly. He squinted to take a closer look. Then the afterimages of Sakamoto's images gradually merged. Appeared in Akira Uchiha's eyes. Finally he could see it. Instantly a chill rose from under his feet. Akira Uchiha felt that he couldn't breathe. Sakamoto's hand was holding Mikoto's corpse. No. Impossible. This was impossible. Akira Uchiha felt like the world was spinning. This must be an illusion. That's right. It was an illusion. Akira Uchiha immediately disrupted his chakra flow. But in front of him, there was no change. July was so warm. Akira Uchiha only felt an emptiness in his heart. That eerie chill was so clear. He kept telling himself that this was an illusion. But he knew. This wasn't. Akira Uchiha's heart was filled with extreme fear. You killed her, you killed her. Akira Uchiha was a little crazy as he kept saying, "Oh, looks like the poison is acting up." Sakamoto smiled. Not bad. Back then I also used this kind of gaze to watch your father kill my sensei. It's wonderful that you can taste this kind of pain. Every word Sakamoto said was like a knife cutting Akira Uchiha's heart. A drop of tears streaked across Akira Uchiha's cheek. What are you crying for? Why are you crying? Mikoto wasn't dead yet. Sakamoto, you bastard. In the end, Akira Uchiha despaired. Mikoto was dead. She had completely vanished from this world. This wasn't an illusion. It was nothing. This was hell. Suddenly, a patch of blood red appeared in Akira Uchiha's eyes. The two Tomo Sharingan spun crazily. Akira Uchiha could finally see Sakamoto clearly. A cold aura surrounded his body. This is the craziest Uchiha-chan has ever been. The craziest Uchiha-chan has ever been. He has lost his mind. Sakamoto stared at the eyes in the darkness with a cautious expression. Lightning released Chidori. A large amount of chakra that has undergone a qualitative change to the extreme instantly gathered in Chen's hands. In a very short time, it reached the level of Chidori. Akira Uchiha, who was ready, stepped on the branches and jumped high. Relying on the force of his sprint, he dashed towards Sakamoto at high speed, leaving behind sparks and lightning. Sakamoto looked at Akira Uchiha rushing toward the sky and immediately made hand seals. Earth release multiple earth walls. Several walls stood between Akira Uchiha and Sakamoto. As an A-class ninjutsu, Chidori is still a very laborious task to break several walls under the multiple earth flow walls. But Chidori, because of Akira Uchiha's chakra, kept getting bigger and bigger, and the power was getting more and more amazing. There was a trend of Chidori turning into Raikiri. Under the piercing of Raikiri, Akira Uchiha directly drilled several holes in the earth wall. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Akira Uchiha didn't stop at all. While Chidori was still in his hand, he fiercely stepped on the earth wall. Then he charged straight at Sakamoto, who was on the ground. Die. Chapter 100. In the night, Akira Uchiha drew a dazzling light and quickly pierced through. Sakamoto showed a dignified look. Looking at Akira Uchiha's appearance, he was only about 10 years old. If someone told him before that a 10-year-old kid can entangle with a jonin for so long, he would definitely give that person a slap in the face. But now he encountered it. Plus, the awakened Sharingan is Twin Tomo. This brat's talent made him unable to help but feel fearful. Originally, Sakamoto wanted to kill him before the poison broke out. But now he just wants to leave and wait for the poison to break out. Yes. He was a little scared. The blood-red Tomo rotated quickly and stared straight at Sakamoto, making him a little scared. Facing a wood-leaf genin, he was a jonin, but at the last moment he was a little scared. What a disgrace. If word got out, not only would people laugh their heads off, but even he hated such a thought. Damn it. Sakamoto knew that he can't retreat. He retreated a safe distance and at the same time made hand seals. Earth release. Rock piercing. A huge vibration quickly came from the ground. The originally flat forest quickly split into countless pieces. As the ground continued to fall, the whole earth's crust rose up like waves, and then squeezed towards Uchiha. A class earth release. If Akira Uchiha's consciousness was still clear, he would definitely avoid this ninjutsu. After all, that was his fighting style. But unfortunately, the outbreak of the poison made his consciousness gradually weakened. The only thing he could remember now was to kill the sand jonin in front of him. The ground began to collapse crazily, and the stones were squeezing toward Akira Uchiha. After releasing this ninjutsu, Sakamoto consumed a lot of chakra. Spikes were constantly coming out. And every time Akira Uchiha took a step, countless spikes would grow out. At this time, there were 10 minutes before the full outbreak of the poison. Akira Uchiha's space to move was getting smaller and smaller. Not only under his feet, behind him, above his head, even in front of him began to be gradually covered with stone spikes. Under the control of Sakamoto's ninjutsu, the ground was like a giant beast, trying to swallow Akira Uchiha. Blood began to flow out of Akira Uchiha's body. Just as the earth release was about to bury Akira Uchiha, the sound of thousands of birds chirping came from the ground again. At the last moment, Akira Uchiha crazily squeezed the last chakra out of his body. Together with the chakra sealed in the scroll, it was released. Like the brightest star in the sky, Chidori instantly burst out with light, illuminating the entire darkness. A lot of chakra chakra, and chakra, and chakra. In Sakamoto's incredulous eyes, the stone spikes harder than steel were easily cut off. In an instant, Akira Uchiha's body was quickly stretched to a critical point. Looking at Akira Uchiha, who was sprinting in a single line, Sakamoto's veins on his arms bulged. However, his footsteps stopped abruptly. His face turned ashen. His body can't move. When was this genjutsu? The harder Sakamoto tried, the more he couldn't move his feet. This strange state reminded him of a high-level genjutsu, Golden Bind Genjutsu. Is the current wood-leaf genjutsu already in existence that can use Golden Bind Genjutsu? This idea was rejected by him as soon as it appeared. Impossible. Where did Akira Uchiha get so much chakra? Then Sakamoto found that his body seemed to be able to move a little. After a little thought, he understood. As an A-level genjutsu, Golden Bind Genjutsu, if he didn't get hit by it, he wouldn't be frozen for such a short time. It seems that this is the superimposed application of Akira Uchiha's Sharingan and his conventional genjutsu. He had just awakened his Sharingan, but he was already able to use it. This kind of talent terrified Sakamoto. In the next moment, Akira Uchiha took Chidori and cut towards Sakamoto's head. But now move for me. Hurry up. Sakamoto looked at right arm that was getting closer and closer, and his face showed a ferocious expression. Everyone is racing against time. His body was moving a little bit, and the effect of genjutsu was further weakened. And Akira Uchiha didn't notice this. Looking carefully, you can almost find that Akira Uchiha's originally cold eyes now seem to be blurred. This is a sign that the poison has spread too deep. Before Akira Uchiha's Chidori was about to hit Sakamoto's head, Sakamoto finally completely got rid of the Sharingan Genjutsu. In a hurry, he didn't have time to think. He waved his hand and blocked in front of his head with the short sword in his hand. However, the dagger, which could easily split Huton and kunai, was like a piece of paper to him. Under Chidori's cut, the short sword was instantly split in half. In the next moment, Chidori went towards Sakamoto's head. Then blood splattered. The smell of blood directly poured into Akira Uchiha's nose. Akira Uchiha thought that he had cut off Sakamoto's head. But Akira Uchiha, who raised his head, found that Sakamoto's head was still there. It turned out that the block of the short sword made Chidori's direction move a little bit. Lightning release only brushed past half of his face. Blood dripped down drop by drop, and the weak Chidori finally dissipated. Akira Uchiha's Sharingan also couldn't be maintained because of chakra. Akira Uchiha's somewhat unfocused vision could see that Sakamoto's head was already a little dark. If it was an ordinary Jonin or elite Jonin, their body would have been attacked like this, and they would have definitely died. However, Akira Uchiha's chakra was insufficient, which made Chidori's power greatly weakened. With this kind of injury, Sakamoto was still at death's door. However, he was completely hopeless. At this time, only a minute had passed. In the end, I won. Akira Uchiha dropped his weak hand. A hoarse voice came out of his mouth. Hehe, you haven't won yet. Sakamoto stared at Akira Uchiha with his remaining eye. Accompany me to hell. Sakamoto smiled at Akira Uchiha. Chapter 101. Despite being so heavily wounded, Sakamoto was still able to speak. Akira Uchiha couldn't help but sigh at how tenacious his willpower was. Sakamoto used the last of his strength to form a hand seal. After forming the hand seal, Sakamoto couldn't hold on any longer. Suddenly, an even stronger tremor came from underground. Sakamoto's A-rank earth release from before wasn't over yet. The most violent power was completely unleashed by Sakamoto's final hand seal. All of his chakra was focused on the earth release. The uncontrollable earth release exploded. The ground began to tremble, sink and float up. Akira Uchiha was like a small boat in the middle of the ocean. More and more stone spikes flew towards Akira Uchiha. Akira Uchiha wanted to prop himself up. He tried for a few seconds, then powerlessly let go of his arm. He lay on the ground, gasping for air. He had no more chakra or strength left. Sakamoto had just died. His corpse was lying right next to Akira Uchiha. After forming that hand seal, his life had come to an end. But before he died, he had accomplished his goal. Kill Akira Uchiha. Akira Uchiha opened his eyes and looked at the sky. Night had come. This forest had been completely destroyed. The temperature had also dropped. Akira Uchiha could feel countless spikes on the ground. Even if he could escape from the encirclement of the earth escape technique, the poison in his body would take his life. The pain was like maggots crawling into every part of his body, tearing him apart from the outside, then from the inside out. He could feel his consciousness slowly weakening. Is this the taste of death? Soon after, the hallucinations appeared again. The destroyed forest in front of him disappeared. He saw the village that he had lived in for 9 years. His friends were waving at him. Then the illusion changed. Akira Uchiha saw a figure slowly walking towards him. Tsunade? Tsunade slowly walked down from afar. Akira Uchiha's feeling of having lost everything suddenly returned. The pain didn't seem to be as intense and sharp as before. Heaven Gate leg suddenly. A tremor even more violent than earth release came. That power was enough to make the ground tremble. Even the stone spikes that surrounded Akira Uchiha were blown to smithereens. A large crack appeared in front of Akira Uchiha's body, tearing open the cage that trapped Akira Uchiha. It had also broken Sakamoto's rank A earth release. Tsunade, hurry and save him. Oru's hoarse voice was heard. To see nothing. To see anything, to see to see. To see. Familiar voices came from Tsunade and Orochimaru. It seems that it wasn't a dream too. Yes. Tsunade nodded. Then a fragrant smell came. Akira Uchiha felt himself being carefully picked up by someone. After a few gentle tremors, Akira Uchiha left the soft embrace and returned to the ground. I'll heal him. You go and see how Rope Tree and the others are doing. Tsunade looked serious. While checking Akira Uchiha's condition, he ordered Orochimaru to go to the other side. She just came from that side, but from their aura, she felt that they weren't dead yet. As for their injuries, she didn't have time to check. Since she couldn't leave, she could only let Orochimaru confirm. TSK, they're seriously injured. Tsunade looked at Akira Uchiha. Kid, if I was a little later, you would have died. Tsunade said softly. Akira Uchiha's nose suddenly felt sour. He had never seen such a gentle Tsunade. However, Tsunade's voice continued to come. Orochimaru, are you dead? If you're not dead, then hurry up. Don't be so slow. The gentle feeling disappeared in an instant. It seemed that it was just an illusion. Now this is the real Tsunade. Orochimaru sighed in his heart. I'm just concerned about my disciple. What's wrong with that? Then he had to quickly run to the other side. Tsunade summoned a set of medical equipment. The scalpel made a few small cuts on Akira Uchiha's body to release the poisonous blood. Tsunade's other hand also lit up with the chakra unique to medical ninjas. Then she cut open Akira Uchiha's clothes. It's a little painful, bear with it. Using the medical chakra to protect Akira Uchiha's heart, Tsunade saw that Akira Uchiha was still conscious and said softly. In a daze, Akira Uchiha heard Tsunade say so. Then in the next moment, severe pain came from all over his body. A painful cry came. In less than 2 minutes, Orochimaru came back panting. There's nothing wrong with the three of them. Their lives are not in danger. It's just a small injury. Bear with it for a while. He stretched his head to see Akira Uchiha's injury. How is it? At the most critical moment of the treatment, Tsunade's immortal palm technique wandered around Akira Uchiha's body. As part of the wound healed, black blood began to flow out of the wound. The internal organs are displaced, broken in 3 places. There is internal bleeding. 2 ribs are broken. Chakra is exhausted. Stamina is exhausted. Orochimaru nodded. Then he looked at the corpse next to him and put it away with a scroll. It seems that this time we can get good information. Orochimaru's hoarse voice came. Oh, what do you mean? Tsunade asked. This jonin in front of you is a captain of the Umbu of the Sand Village. Tsunade's face suddenly sank. What's wrong? Sakura Shinobu's neurotoxin has spread all over his body. These are not the most serious. The most serious is the poison I have never seen before. The fine matter extraction technique can't extract all the toxins. The specific treatment plan must be immediately returned to Woodleaf. It's too simple here. But we can't go back now, Orochimaru said anxiously. Tsunade bit her thumb. Summoning technique. The smoke dissipated, and a slug appeared on the ground. What's wrong, Tsunade-sama? The slug asked. I need to take him back to Woodleaf. Slug, you wrap us, then remove the summoning technique, and take us back to the Shikatsu forest. After that, Tsunade looked at Orochimaru. Contact Woodleaf immediately. Woodleaf Hospital has my blood. Let the Sandame old man take us back. Bang. After a burst of smoke, Tsunade and Akira Uchiha disappeared from Orochimaru's sight. Chapter 102. In life, there will always be some things that will not fade or be forgotten with the passage of time. It will just continue to settle down in the heart and turn into something different, but heavier. Akira Uchiha has now deeply realized this. 9 years have made him forget a lot of things from his previous life. But in a daze, he seemed to have re-experienced a lot of things that he had forgotten in the past. There was pain and happiness. When Akira Uchiha opened his eyes again, there was a strange ceiling in front of him. Where is this? Did I survive? Such a thought appeared in Akira Uchiha's head. Congratulations to the host for successfully sneaking into the world of One Piece. The host is now a Marine Admiral, a neighbor, a distant relative. So annoying, the system's voice came so inappropriately. Akira Uchiha. Continue to travel like this? This was truly a piece of news that would shock men and make women cry. Things that others can't encounter in a lifetime. He, Akira Uchiha, has traveled twice? Wasn't this too exciting? His short life is really full of adventurism and abstraction. Akira Uchiha struggled to get up and looked around. Well, the environment is still very familiar. Isn't this Woodleaf Hospital? The window is blocked by curtains, but through the gap, the vulgar statue of the third-generation old man can be seen. This deceitful system has learned to lie. Where is the integrity between people and systems? Is it not good to have less tricks and more sincerity? Akira Uchiha looked around and saw that one of his hands was still connected to an foredrip. The other hand was held by Mikoto. She is sleeping soundly now. Akira Uchiha breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that Mikoto's death was just an illusion. Sakamoto was holding his knife in his hand, and he hallucinated that it was Mikoto. That poison is really powerful. It can make the poisoned person have strong hallucinations and see the most fearful thing in his heart. To a certain extent, this was already comparable to some of the most powerful illusions. Akira Uchiha got up from the bed and naturally woke up Mikoto from her sleep. Mikoto looked up and saw that Akira Uchiha was awake, and tears kept falling. Chin, you are okay? Really too good. Mikoto stuttered and couldn't speak. She kept wiping away her tears. Okay. Mikoto, am I not fine? Akira Uchiha smiled. Then he habitually moved his arm. Ouch, it really King hurts. Akira Uchiha showed a painful expression. This kind of muscle strain, and the pain of bone dislocation almost made Chin tear up. How is it? Should I call the doctor over now? Mikoto asked anxiously. I'm fine. I'll be fine as long as I don't move. Akira Uchiha gestured to Mikoto to be at ease. Lie down properly. I'll go inform Shinakushina and the others. Shinakushina and I will take turns to look after you. We've agreed that we'll inform each other once you wake up. Only then did Mikoto remember that. She asked Akira Uchiha to wait for her while she hurriedly ran out. After Mikoto left, the ward returned to silence. A few seconds later, footsteps could be heard outside the door. She's back so soon? Akira Uchiha revealed a puzzled expression. However, the one who opened the door was not Mikoto. Instead, it was Tsunade. She had activated her uniform today. She wore a white coat and her golden ponytail was tied behind her back. She walked in with her hands in her pockets. Akira Uchiha grinned. In contrast, Tsunade's face was full of disgust. How rude. However, Akira Uchiha did not dare to say it out loud. What if the stingy Tsunade accidentally dropped the scalpel into his stomach? What's wrong, Tsunade-sensei? Akira Uchiha carefully smiled. Nothing, I just wanted to congratulate you a little. Tsunade revealed an ugly smile. Huh. Akira Uchiha revealed a puzzled expression. You've completed 2 A-level missions before becoming a genin. You've also killed 2 jonin. Congratulations. When you become a genin in the future, you'll kick the Kazekage, punch the Reikage, and kick the Rakuta Sannin to death. Are you tired of living? Tsunade's voice became louder and louder. Akira Uchiha's ears hurt a little. Akira Uchiha could only shrink into the quilt and reveal a scared expression. No wonder Tsunade was angry. An A-level mission was something that many ninjas would never be able to touch in their lifetime. For many ninjas, it was something that they could be proud of for a lifetime. But Tsunade was only worried. Akira Uchiha was her first disciple. Originally, it was just a mission to kill bandits. It was just to let them go and see some blood, so that they wouldn't be at a loss on the battlefield in the future. Akira Uchiha, on the other hand, directly went against a jonin. And then he went against Sakura Shinobu. And he almost died. Is this what you're supposed to do? Picking up cow dung every day, being a dung picker, being a cleaner, this is the normal development path of a genin. If Akira Uchiha didn't think that his life was big, then what was it? So Akira Uchiha could only bitterly smile at Tsunade's anger. In that case, what could he do? After Tsunade vented her anger, her face eased a little. You're fine now. The main thing is that some bones are dislocated and muscle strain. The dislocated bones have been corrected. Next, you just need to rest. Isn't there an antidote for that poison? Akira Uchiha regretted it after asking. That was a stupid question. Sure enough, Tsunade's face became cold again. Your luck is really good. That poison was just developed by that damn old woman Chio. If I didn't happen to be next to you, and that poison was only a semi-finished product, you would be dead now. Akira Uchiha didn't dare to say a word, and could only shrink on the bed. Tsunade sat here for a while. The ward maintained a strange silence. Then she glared at Akira Uchiha and went back. As with Leaf's doctor, she was very busy. But not long after she left, there was a knock on the door again. Patients also have human rights. They also have to abide by the basic law. Akira Uchiha could only helplessly sigh. Chapter 103. At present, Akira Uchiha, who is in the 5th grade of the ninja school, will be promoted to the graduating class after this summer vacation. At that time, he will become a complete old cured meat. Of course, because of a small situation, Akira Uchiha will spend this summer vacation in Woodleaf Hospital. But such a life is not bad. Free nutritious meals in the hospital, Mikoto's love lunchbox, and Shinakushina can also accompany Akira Uchiha with a few jokes to relieve boredom. Akira Uchiha did not expect that at the age of 9 he would live the ideal life in his mind. The life of an emperor served by a servant. Life should be like this. This is the ultimate life that Akira Uchiha pursues. But good times don't last long. After his friend Watergate knew that he was injured, the situation began to take a turn for the worse. Watergate, who has a very good outlook, of course, is not a problem child. Although he also has the tendency to develop in this direction. But he is not, does not mean that he does not know such a naughty child. For example, the children of Nara and Akimichi family who have a good relationship with them. Then, Akira Uchiha's circle of friends began to spread the news that Akira Uchiha was hospitalized. This kind of news is not a big deal, but the news inexplicably became more and more twisted, and more outrageous. At the beginning, the content of the story was that Akira Uchiha fought with a genin and was injured. Then slowly, the genin became a chunin, and then a jonin. In the end, inexplicably, it became 100 twists and turns, a heart-stirring story. The content of the story was that Akira Uchiha, the Kazekage, and the Reikage fought for 300 rounds. And finally Akira Uchiha was defeated and hospitalized. Then there was a hospital insider who said that she heard the conversation between Tsunade and Akira Uchiha. The content of the conversation was that Akira Uchiha used some kind of taijutsu to kick the Sage of Six Paths to death. He was careless in making friends. When Akira Uchiha heard this rumor, He felt that the next few days would not be peaceful. As expected, on the third day after Akira Uchiha woke up, the door to his ward kept knocking. Akira Uchiha was ranked first on both the most wanted to be his girlfriend and the most wanted to defeat him rankings. These days, he had to deal with those brainless female fans who came to visit him, as well as those naughty kids who came to make trouble. In order to deal with this situation, Akira Uchiha had no choice but to use his trump card. As soon as someone came in, he covered his head with the blanket and groaned. Pretending to be dead for no reason was really scary. At least it scared off the group of naughty kids led by Uchiha Liang, who were here to cause trouble in the name of visiting the patient. Then, the rumor that Akira Uchiha was going to die began to spread in his circle of friends. Those fans and naughty kids finally stopped coming. The visiting flower baskets finally disappeared, because they all turned into flower wreaths. These days, Shinakushina and Mikoto had been watching over him. Seeing that they were really too tired, Akira Uchiha only allowed the two of them to come in the afternoon and noon. So in the morning, Akira Uchiha's ward was still very quiet. Most of the time, Akira Uchiha would lie in the hospital bed with nothing to do, and also read the manga that he had just bought from Rope Tree. It had to be said that Rope Tree's taste was really very different from his. He preferred those long legs with ponytails, while Rope Tree preferred a more masculine style. When the door was knocked, Akira Uchiha skillfully closed the book in his hand and put it under the pillow. "Sorry to disturb you." Watergate's voice came from outside the door. Akira Uchiha stared at Watergate with dead fish eyes. Watergate smiled a little awkwardly. After all, the rumor started from him. After this mission was completed, Watergate returned to school, but he didn't find Akira Uchiha, Rope Tree, and the others. He went to ask his teacher, Jiraiya. But teacher Jiraiya only cared about peeking into the girls' bathroom. However, teacher Jiraiya still told him that Akira Uchiha and the others had gone on a new mission. Then, almost a week later, he saw Okinawa and the others. But Akira Uchiha was still not there. Only then did he know that Akira Uchiha was seriously injured and was brought back to Woodleaf's hospital in advance by Tsunade. He wanted to visit the patient, but he was told that Akira Uchiha was still in a critical period. After he was out of danger, he could go and see Akira Uchiha. After entering the ward, Watergate put a bag of packaged apples on the cabinet in the ward. Watergate pulled a chair in front of Akira Uchiha's bed, took his hand, and asked with concern, "How are you now?" "I should be fine before school starts." Akira Uchiha smiled. His chat with Watergate was generally quite normal. The two of them basically talked about the situation during the summer vacation. While chatting with Minato and exchanging their experiences, the two of them talked about the recent situation. It was worth mentioning that Watergate had a new idea on the transformation of the seal scroll. If it weren't for this scroll, he would have died in the hands of Sakamoto, because he didn't have chakra to use Chidori. Now the most regrettable shortcoming of Akira Uchiha's strength, besides his age, is the amount of chakra he can use. But he doesn't have enough points. "By the way, Chun, there's something I need to pay attention to," Watergate said. "What?" Watergate's serious expression made Akira Uchiha stop smiling. "Recently, the atmosphere in Woodleaf is a bit strange. I noticed that many teachers of the Ninja Academy have left Konoha. When did it start?" "Speaking of the beginning, it should be the few days when Tsunade-sama brought you back." Minato thought about it carefully. Akira Uchiha thought carefully, and was silent for a moment. "It seems that the Second Shinobi World War is about to begin." "What?" "But Jiraiya, Sensei told me that the Land of Rain has agreed to peace talks. The war shouldn't break out." "When did you say that?" "When we were on the mission." Watergate thought for a moment. Akira Uchiha shook his head. He explained the process of his mission to Minato. Akira Uchiha's mission hasn't been sealed, so it's okay to tell Watergate now. But from the current situation, it's only a matter of time before he gets sealed. After listening, Watergate was silent. Akira Uchiha looked out of the window. Naruto Rock stood tall outside the window, and the three Naruto watched the village. It seems that this mission is the fuse of the Second Shinobi World War. Chapter 104. Hanzo the Salamander is the leader of the Rain Village. He is very powerful, with his body flicker technique and his powerful summon beast salamander, coupled with his cautious and ruthless personality, he is famous in the ninja world. Ninjas who have fought against him have praised him, thinking that he is even comparable to the Kage of the 5 major countries. This July is bound to be unusual, because no one knows when a rumor began to spread in the ninja world. The rumor is that Hanzo the Salamander fought against the 3 generations of Kazekage and the 3rd Naruto on the border. In the end, he fought against the 2 of them, and he didn't lose. The power of rumors is always great because there are many blind followers. As time passed, the rumor began to spread like a plague, and no one in the 5 major countries came out to deny this rumor. Then the title of demigod began to spread in the ninja world. Hanzo the Salamander is considered by many ninjas to be the new pinnacle of the ninja world after the first Naruto. Coupled with the war between the Land of Rain and the Grass Country, and with Leafs in action, many people thought that the era of the 6 major ninja countries is coming. Hanzo's era is coming. For a time, the entire ninja world was surging with undercurrents. At this time, Koharu was sitting on a chair and was a little absent-minded. The recent situation is unpredictable. Even she, who is known as the calm brain, felt very troubled. She looked out of the window and saw the rock Naruto. In front of her was a bottle filled with purple liquid. What did the 3 generations of Kazekage say? Mito Monitis, who was next to her, asked. Flying Ape Nichiren coughed, but his face was a little pale. Obviously he suffered a lot of injuries. What else can they say? They certainly won't admit that the poison and the 2 teams were sent by them. Flying Ape Nichiren replied. What about Hanzo? He said that the letter was forged. He never sent any ninjas to Woodleaf to dig gold. Of course they won't admit it. Danzo's face was gloomy. If they don't admit it, are we going to let them do whatever they want in the Fire Country? As the strongest, do we need evidence? Danzo stared at Flying Ape Nichiren. Flying Ape Nichiren had a headache. Hanzo has agreed to apologize and negotiate, and the 3 generations of Kazekage also agreed to withdraw their ninjas stationed at the border. Peace is hard to come by, Danzo. Flying Ape Nichiren knew what Danzo Nichiren, but he didn't want to fight, or he didn't want to take the initiative to start a war. You, Nichiren. Sandaime Kazekage has been stationed on the border for so long, how can he withdraw his troops just like that? Do you think the Sunagakure ninjas will agree? Do you think the daimyo of the Wind Country will agree? You know, once the war chariot starts, even the village of Kazekage can't stop it. Danzo slammed the table and stared at Flying Ape Nichiren. And if Hanzo agrees to negotiate, then what's with the rumors? Where did the word demigod come from? Danzo continued to argue. I want to ask you the same thing. Flying Ape Nichiren was also a little angry. He, Flying Ape Nichiren, was called a ninja hero in Naruto, the strongest country in the world. What makes you, Hanzo, a demigod? Who can I find to reason with? Why are you asking me? I won't take the blame for this. I didn't spread the rumors. Danzo was angry at Flying Ape Nichiren's suspicion. Mitokado Hamura nodded. Not many people know that the 3 of you were involved in this fight. If it's not one of us, then it could only be the Kazekage or Hanzo who spread the news. What happened at that time? Mito Monitis looked at Flying Ape Nichiren. Didn't you say you were going to negotiate? Why did you fight? Flying Ape Nichiren did talk with the 2 of them at the border. But after returning, Flying Ape Nichiren said very little about it. Flying Ape Nichiren sighed. It's simple. Neither of them admitted to it. They said I slandered them. The one who suffered the most was Sakura Shinobu. Tujounen died. Although the Kazekage didn't admit it, they were angry. The Kazekage and I both thought that the gold mine was a trap set by Hanzo, so we were very unhappy with him. Everyone is holding back their anger. The 3 of them fought like this. In the end, everyone suffered some injuries. Flying Ape Nichiren coughed again. It was obvious that his injuries hadn't healed yet. Danzo knocked on the table. So, you're going to keep the peace? Now is a good opportunity. Hanzo is the only strong person in the Land of Rain. Now that he's injured, the Kazekage will definitely not let go of this opportunity. This is also a good opportunity for us. Let me think about it. Peace is hard to come by. Flying Ape Nichiren rejected Danzo's proposal. Danzo was a little annoyed. Not many people know about this. Besides the four of us, there are a few Umbu who know. It can only be a rumor released by Hanzo and the 3 generations of Kazekage. The 3 generations of Kazekage wouldn't do such a thing. He's a very arrogant person. This kind of strongest title, he should keep it for himself. How could he give it to Hanzo? So, it can only be Hanzo who released the news. He first set the trap of the gold mine, and let us fight with Sakura Shinobu. Now he released the rumor of a demigod. Isn't his intention obvious enough? He's challenging the authority of the 5 major ninja countries. He wants to become the Rain Shadow. Danzo slammed the table. Koharu looked at the 3 people in front of her arguing, and didn't say anything. Her thoughts were not on it, not on the 5 major countries. Koharu couldn't tell why this thought came to her. In any case, she felt that everything was wrong. It wasn't only her who was wrong, but also her friends who she had known for more than 30 years, the 3rd Naruto and Shimura Danzo. She was very upset now. She just wanted to go to the hospital and see the child. She heard that he had woken up. It was all a mess. In that case, let's vote. Danzo said. Then Danzo and Mito Monitis both voted in favor. Koharu, what do you think? Flying Ape Nichiren looked at Koharu, who was obviously distracted, and raised his voice. Koharu turned back and looked at Flying Ape Nichiren. For a moment, the whole office was quiet. She didn't speak, just stood up and pushed the door open. When she was about to go out, she turned her head and said word by word. Kagami's son almost died. I need an explanation. Flying Ape Nichiren sighed. The 3 people agreed, so he didn't continue to oppose. He slammed the table. Inform the Jonin class leader and call for a meeting. I, the 3rd Naruto, hereby declare war on the land of rain. Chapter 105. The Shinobi World War is related to the life and death of countless people, so it began with the announcement of Flying Ape Nichiren. But these have nothing to do with Akira Uchiha and Watergate, these 2 small shrimps. For Watergate, he has endless things to say to Akira Uchiha. That was why he accidentally forgot the time while talking. Watergate looked at the clock on the wall and awkwardly patted his blonde hair. Ahaha, I talked for a long time. I'm sorry to disturb your rest. Akira Uchiha waved his hand. It's okay, I have nothing to do anyway, otherwise, I can only read the manga that Rope Tree bought. By the way, speaking of manga, I almost forgot about the things that Jiraiya Sensei asked me to bring you. Watergate hurriedly rummaged through his bag. Looking at Watergate's mysterious appearance, Akira Uchiha was also curious. Did Watergate also bring him Jiraiya's collection of books? Minato dug around for a long time before he finally pulled out a book. Here you go. Akira Uchiha took it and saw the words with Leaf's 20 years written on it, and the author was Jiraiya. Watergate said proudly. This is a novel that Jiraiya Sensei wrote for 3 years. He said that he is now a writer, and he will go to the peak of life with this book. He still remembers that you said in the 2nd grade that he can write pornographic books. So when this book was published, he asked me to bring it to you to relieve your boredom. Well, Jiraiya still remembers this kind of thing. But Watergate, why are you so proud? It's not your novel. Believe it or not, I will also write a novel, and let you have no wife for the rest of your life. Akira Uchiha looked at it and put it under his pillow. By the way, tell Jiraiya that I wish him an early failure. After sending off Watergate, Akira Uchiha went back to bed. Just as he was about to read his comic book, there was another knock on the door. Patients have human rights too. Akira Uchiha thought about it carefully. At this hour, it was definitely not Shinakushina or Mikoto. Tsunade and the Rope Tree wouldn't knock on the door either. Those naughty brats should have been here a few days ago. Therefore, Akira Uchiha really couldn't figure out who it was. Since he didn't know him, he would just ignore him. Akira Uchiha, who was prepared to continue lying on the bed and play dead, did not make a sound. However, he didn't expect the person who knocked on the door to be so persistent. After receiving no response, he didn't leave. Instead, he continued to waste time with Akira Uchiha. Just like that, the person outside the house kept knocking on the door. Akira Uchiha's intuition told him that the person outside was very troublesome. After a long time, Akira Uchiha finally couldn't stand it anymore and snorted weakly. "The door is unlocked, come in." Hyuga Himeji opened the door and walked in. Sure enough, the troublesome person appeared. Akira Uchiha didn't expect that it would be her who came in. The last communication was 3 years ago. After that night, Akira Uchiha never saw Hyuga Himeji again. After all, Hyuga Himeji was already in the 5th grade at that time. After a year, she graduated and became a glorious genin. Later, he heard that her brother Hyuga Hizashi was sent to the caged bird and became the next branch patriarch. After that, he never heard of her again. Akira Uchiha looked at Hyuga Himeji. "What's with the Byakugan in your eyes?" "Her Byakugan is now open. Is she using it to see if there is anyone in the room?" Otsutsuki Hamura wanted to cry. Hyuga Himeji was holding a bunch of decorative flowers in her hand. Fortunately, it was not a wreath. It seemed that she was no different from when Watergate came to see him. Hyuga Himeji didn't want to talk to Akira Uchiha at all. She came to Akira Uchiha's bed, then picked up the flowers that Watergate had just changed, and put a bunch of decorative flowers she brought. "Akira Uchiha. What's going on?" Akira Uchiha, who sat up because of eating the whale, was forced back to the bed by Hyuga Himeji. After she forced the quilt to cover Akira Uchiha, she went to the window and opened it. The weather in July was very hot, but the air conditioner in the hospital scattered the cool air. "Are you here to fight with me?" Akira Uchiha asked. "I'm just here to visit the patient." Hyuga Himeji's face was expressionless. She sat in front of the bed, and the two of them were silent. There was a strange atmosphere in the ward. Then she began to peel the apple that Watergate brought. After peeling it, she directly put it in Akira Uchiha's hand. After a while, the little bit of cold air that had been gathered with great difficulty dissipated. The child stood up again and closed the door very honestly. "It's good for the body to breathe more." After that, Ji-Lu bowed to Akira Uchiha, who was lying on the bed, then opened the door and walked out of the room. After sending off Hyuga Himeji, Akira Uchiha lay back on the bed. Just as he was about to eat the apple in his hand, there was a knock on his door again. "What's going on?" Akira Uchiha wanted to call the police. "Do you care about the guards?" This time, Akira Uchiha learned his lesson and said directly, "The door isn't locked, please come in." Then a woman walked in. The woman looked to be in her 30s. Her facial features were well defined, her hair was tied up on her head, and there was a pair of earrings on her ears. When the woman walked in, her aura could not be concealed. The feeling she gave Akira Uchiha was that of a strong woman who had been in a high position for a long time. Akira Uchiha thought for a moment. "I shouldn't have seen this pretty auntie before." Akira Uchiha sat up and asked politely, "May I know who you are?" The woman looked at Akira Uchiha in a daze. Then she smiled and walked to Akira Uchiha's bed and sat down. "You can call me Auntie Kochin. I'm your father's close friend. Your father and I are both disciples of the second Naruto." Akira Uchiha was stunned. He had already remembered who this woman was. She was also the direct disciple of the second Naruto. She was one of the 3 elders who had a certain level of political power. She had also participated in the proposal of Naruto's candidates many times. She was a real power figure. When she appeared in the manga, she was already in her 60s or 70s. It was normal that Akira Uchiha did not know her. In fact, among his father's teammates, he had only seen the flying ape Nichiren. "Your eyes are so similar to your father's." Koharu looked at Akira Uchiha and said, "Huh." Akira Uchiha felt that this sentence sounded familiar. "Auntie, did you make a cameo?" Chapter 106. Koharujuan felt very tired. He doesn't know when it started, but the differences between his 2 friends, Sarutobi and Shimura Danzo, have become so big. She couldn't help but sigh. If Kagaya was the 3rd Naruto, maybe there wouldn't be such a thing. In her memory, Kagaya had the same love for the village as Nichiren, but not as naive as Nichiren. Kagaya was more decisive than Danzo, but not as ruthless as him. When she was young, she thought that with the support of the Uchiha clan, coupled with the identity of the second Naruto's disciple, Kagaya would become the third Naruto. Unfortunately, she later realized that the second Naruto never had the idea of letting Uchiha become Naruto. At this moment, Koharujuan suddenly had the idea of retiring. But as soon as this idea came out, she threw it to the back of her mind. Ninjas are not qualified to leave. She knew this from the first day she became a ninja. She chuckled and shook her head. Akira Uchiha looked at Koharujuan strangely. Feeling Akira Uchiha's eyes, Koharujuan immediately put on a serious face. But she really didn't know what to say. Obviously, she has no experience with children. This made her feel a little helpless. By the way, how's your injury? Koharujuan thought for a long time and asked dryly. Well, Tsunade, sensei told me that I'll be fine soon. I should be able to leave the hospital before school starts. That's good. Well, Koharujuan hesitated. What's wrong? Do you want to change teams such as Tsunade's team? Koharujuan asked. Orochimaru's team is too dangerous. He doesn't know medical ninjutsu. If there's a problem, he can't save you. Well, the current team is good. There's no need to change. Akira Uchiha didn't hesitate to refuse her. But I remember that you have a good relationship with Uzumaki's kid. Think about it again. Koharujuan didn't give up and persuaded him again. Akira Uchiha Juan was a little speechless. Are Wood Leaf's leaders so free now? Why do they care about emotional problems? Moreover, the benefits of being a ninja were too good. They even included the allocation of girls. If that's the case, just kick the rope tree. There's no need to make it so complicated. Juan thought. But she really wanted Koen's SSSSS squad. SSS Uzumaki, S will. Therefore, the 3 members of her team did not need to go to the battlefield. If Akira Uchiha was in that team, then he wouldn't have to go to the battlefield. Akira Uchiha shook his head. The current team is really good. There's no need to change teammates. Oh, okay. Koharu was a little disappointed. Then you must be careful. Don't do it again. No one can take care of you on the battlefield. Akira Uchiha looked at Koharu. He had just noticed a word, battlefield. Could it be? Noticing Akira Uchiha's gaze, Koharu nodded. Yes, the Jonin assembly is currently being held. Naruto 3 will soon declare war on the Land of Rain. The war is about to begin. Upon hearing this news, Akira Uchiha nodded. After all, he was already prepared. However, he just noticed a sentence. A declaration of war against the Land of Rain? Yes. Koharu nodded. Only the Land of Rain? Akira Uchiha frowned. The Land of Rain was indeed hateful, but this time he almost died in the hands of Sakura Shinobu. As one of the 5 major countries, Wood Leaf didn't say a word and just let the Land of Wind go? Originally, when Akira Uchiha heard the declaration of war against the Land of Rain so quickly, he was a little impressed by the courage of Sandaime Naruto. But what do you mean by declaring war only on the Land of Rain? Is the strongest country just a word? Flying Ape Nichiren, are you a pacifist or a Buddhist Naruto? But Akira Uchiha thought about it and understood. Now Sakura Shinobu was known as the strongest village among the 5 major countries, except for Wood Leaf. After being stationed at the border for so long, they were already ready to start the war. Sakura Shinobu had not experienced the fiasco of World War II and World War III. It was the village that had its funds deducted by the daimyo, and then had no money to develop elite troops. Sakura Shinobu, which had not declined, was a real tough opponent. If Wood Leaf was involved in the war between the Land of Wind and the Land of Rain at the same time, it would be easy to be dragged into the quagmire. Even persimmons had to be picked soft. And the country of Rain just happened to be a ripe persimmon, so ripe that it was about to rot. A small country was geographically sandwiched in the middle of several major countries. With such a flashy sea position, who else would they pick on? But understanding was one thing. Akira Uchiha was still very uncomfortable. But small shrimps had to have the awareness of small shrimps. Looking at the silent Akira Uchiha, Koharu pursed her lips. She was thinking about how to explain. Could she tell Akira Uchiha that this was politics? In order to not let Akira Uchiha have a grudge against the village, she had to bite the bullet and say, "There will be a war with Sakura Shinobu sooner or later, but it's not time yet." Akira Uchiha nodded to show that he understood. Then the atmosphere in the room suddenly became a little strange. Koharu sighed. It seemed that she had messed up everything. This feeling was like a stepmother meeting her stepson for the first time. She wanted to perform well, but she messed it up. It was probably this subtle feeling. There was an awkward silence. Just as Akira Uchiha was thinking carefully about how to lead the conversation, Anlahu Akbar appeared. She had a black ponytail and a cute appearance. "I'm coming in, Chun." Mikoto opened the door and walked in with a large lunchbox. Mikoto walked into the room and saw the subtle and awkward scene in the room. "I'm sorry. Did I disturb you?" Mikoto apologized and bowed. Then she turned around and was about to leave. No. Koharu stood up and pulled Mikoto. The woman smiled. She looked at Akira Uchiha, who was lying on the bed, then carefully looked at Mikoto. Then a satisfied expression appeared on her face. "All right, it's time for me to go. Chun, have a good rest. Goodbye, Mikoto." She patted Mikoto's head and walked out of the room. Walking along the corridor, Koharu's mood suddenly became much better. Another girl. Plus, there was the girl from the Byakugan clan, whom she met when she first arrived. Koharu nodded in satisfaction. Even she had to admit that Akira's son was good at picking up girls. As expected of Akira's son. Chapter 107. The following days passed little by little. Every day, in addition to Mikoto and Shinakushina, who watched Akira Uchiha here, only Rope Tree and Watergate often came here. Watergate's topic of conversation was also very constant, which was to discuss with Akira Uchiha the application of ninjutsu and chakra. As for the war has already begun, once the war machine of Woodleaf Village starts to operate, no one can stop it. Woodleaf's ninja has already begun to go to Land of Rain. In Woodleaf's words, it was the Land of Rain's ninja who invaded Woodleaf first. In Land of Rain's words, it was Woodleaf who took the initiative to start the war. However, whoever has the bigger fist has the bigger reason. Everyone knows this truth. For a time, the situation of the entire ninja world began to tense, and several major countries began to prepare for a big fight. Although the war has already begun, Tsunade and the others still haven't moved, and Shinakushina and Rope Tree also came often, but then the number of times they came became less and less. Although they were ordered to keep their mouths shut, Shinakushina still cried and told Akira Uchiha that Grandma Mito couldn't hold on. To be able to say this to this extent, it should be Shinakushina's own initiative. After all, this kind of news must be completely blocked by the higher-ups as a top secret. In this regard, Akira Uchiha had no other way but to comfort her. He and Mito Vortex have met many times, and he also likes this very beautiful old man very much. He felt very sad for a while. Time went by little, and finally, half a month later, Akira Uchiha returned home after getting the approval of the hospital. Of course, he must go to the hospital regularly to check his body. After all, what if there were still remnants of the poison? A 9-year-old child killed 2 jonin, and when he opened his eyes, he saw the existence of the twin Tomotomo. After hearing Orochimaru's report, Sandame Naruto immediately suppressed this matter and classified it as top secret. Finally, more than 10 days later, the ninja school began. Because of the beginning of the Second Ninja War, Woodleaf Village was still in a peaceful state, except for the atmosphere that was much more tense than before. After all, they hadn't attacked the Fire Nation yet. Right now, it was still Woodleaf invading other nations. But ninjas are also strategic resources. When strategic resources began to tilt towards the battlefield, Woodleaf inevitably fell into a state of shortage of talent. This can be seen from the number of teachers in the ninja school. Because Akira Uchiha had been lying in bed for many days, he went to the ninja academy early in the morning when school started. But instead of going to his classroom, he went straight to the training ground of the ninja school. As an old piece of cured meat, he was very clear about the process of starting a new school. As usual, There is an opening ceremony before school starts. The so-called opening ceremony is actually Naruto-sama's education of the will of fire for these ninja reserves. The main purpose is to improve the students' sense of belonging to Woodleaf Village. Of course, it is also related to this war. As Sandaime Naruto, Flying Ape Nichiren undoubtedly pays special attention to ideological education. This can be seen from the fact that he went to the widows' houses to express his condolences. Akira Uchiha just walked into the training ground and attracted a lot of attention. After all, he is now the best student in the entire ninja school. Akira Uchiha is undoubtedly the existence of the top. The limelight is also unparalleled. And in the great rumors in July, Akira Uchiha was also the center of the rumors. Isn't the demigod equal to Naruto Kazekage? Akira Uchiha is said to have kicked Rikudo Sannin to death. Akira Uchiha noticed these gazes and shook his trench coat. Although he wanted to say something, he still closed his mouth. He is not targeting anyone, but everyone here is points. Since he has to earn points for another year, it is important to have a good relationship with his classmates. Seeing Watergate standing in the corner, Akira Uchiha greeted him. "Hey, you came early, Chun." Watergate also came over. "Why are you alone? Where is Mikoto?" Watergate looked at Akira Uchiha in confusion. Where there is Akira Uchiha, there will be Mikoto. This is a widely spread sentence in the ninja school. She will be here soon. Sure enough, it didn't take long for Mikoto to arrive. But Shinakushina and Rope Tree didn't appear. They didn't think it was strange. Time passed by as Watergate and Akira Uchiha chatted. After a while, Naruto the third Naruto appeared on the training ground. When Naruto-sama appeared, the whole training ground immediately quieted down. Thousands of students stood below and looked at the third Naruto on the stage. He coughed softly and slowly began his speech. Then he imparted some of the life experience of an elder to everyone present. I think everyone already knows about it, right? Just some time ago, the ninjas of the Land of Rain invaded Woodleaf. Yes, they invaded Woodleaf illegally. As soon as the Flying Ape Nichiren came up, he began to accuse them. Of course, this kind of accusation is not valid. Woodleaf didn't find the Land of Rain ninjas at all. There were corpses of the Sakura Shinobu Village ninjas. It's just that he didn't mention Sakura Shinobu Village ninjas. The few people who knew about it were ordered to keep their mouths shut a long time ago. But does Woodleaf need evidence? What a joke. The words of the strongest country are evidence. Just as Akira Uchiha was distracted, the third Naruto continued to speak. The war broke out. The moment I announced it, it broke out. Many people die in war, and I hate it when people die. Because when people die, everything they have will disappear with their past and present. Many people die in missions and wars, and they die so easily. Is their death worth it? I think it is worth it. Because no matter who it is, they have parents, brothers, lovers, friends, and other people who are important to them. We are only born once in this world. Don't force yourself to choose a path you don't like. It doesn't matter if you live or die. But no matter what path you choose, don't forget to protect the people you cherish. This is not a great principle. People who have this kind of bond will sacrifice themselves for others, because those people are worth cherishing. For me, you are the people I want to protect and cherish. I want you to live in this village without worries. This is my dream. Your father is now fighting for this dream of mine. Please don't hate me. Then the third Naruto bowed, and applause sounded in the training ground. Chapter 108. Yesterday, Sandaime Naruto's speech started Akira Uchiha's last days in the Ninja Academy. The post-holiday syndrome was really scary. Everyone was still immersed in the leisurely summer vacation. Akira Uchiha didn't care about it, but there were still a lot of naughty kids who haven't adjusted from the leisurely summer vacation. Today, Shinakushina came, but Rope Tree still didn't come. Nishimura-sensei stood on the podium with a dark face, looking at the group of listless students. Although his face was very dark. At this time, there were very few things that could be taught in the Ninja Academy. Instead of listening to him talk about useful or useless knowledge, it was better for Akira Uchiha to sit alone at the back and practice Chakra's nature transformation. After one class. Although the harvest wasn't much, chakra consumed a lot. Chun, what are you doing? Watergate looked at Akira Uchiha in confusion. Akira Uchiha's hands were under the table, and his upper body was covered by the table. His whole body was shaking rhythmically, and no one knew what he was doing. Watergate was still a bit concerned. After all, Nishimura Sensei had been staring at Akira Uchiha for the whole class. Nishimura Sensei's initial confusion turned to anger, and then to shock. After the last class, Akira Uchiha was still shaking. Nishimura Sensei's expression had turned into admiration. That's right, Watergate saw it clearly. It was admiration. So this made Watergate a bit concerned. Something that even Nishimura Sensei admired should be interesting. I'm practicing chakra's nature transformation. Akira Uchiha threw a chakra soldier food pill into his mouth and then answered. Hearing this answer, Watergate was a bit disappointed. Chakra's nature transformation. Haven't you already practiced it before? I used to train in the fire attribute. You actually have 2 attributes. Shin chuckled. Do you think I have to tell you that I'm a triple attribute samurai? You have to keep a low profile. Otherwise, how are others going to survive? Akira Uchiha sighed. It's hard to be a ninja, but it's even harder to be a good ninja, and it's even harder to be a good and low-key ninja. As someone else's child, I feel a lot of pressure too. Watergate rolled his eyes and decided not to talk to Akira Uchiha. Then Akira Uchiha threw a piece of paper to Watergate. What's this? Watergate asked. It's used to test chakra's attributes. I remember that your chakra's form transformation is almost done. Let's test it while you're at it. Watergate nodded and didn't refuse Akira Uchiha's kindness. Sooner or later, you'll have to test it. Just input chakra into it. When the paper is cut, it has the wind attribute. When it burns, it has the fire attribute. When it's wet, it has the water attribute. When it's wrinkled, it has the thunder attribute. And when it's broken, it has the earth attribute. Akira Uchiha said to Watergate. Then Akira Uchiha continued to extract chakra into his hand, and continued to train the wind attribute chakra's attribute transformation. What attribute? After a while Akira Uchiha asked. Wind and water attributes, only 2 attributes. Lil Sun looked a little disappointed. Before the test, most people would fantasize that they were a 5-attribute genius. Wind and water? Akira Uchiha was stunned. From what he knew, it was normal for Watergate to have the wind attribute. After all, Naruto would be a wind attribute ninja in the future. However, he didn't expect Watergate to have the water attribute. This was very Watergate. But after thinking about it for a while, Naruto, you're too much of a loser. Your parents have such excellent genes, wind, water, and flying thunder god. How can you only have one wind attribute? The wind attribute is fine, but the water attribute is a little troublesome, because the information I have on hand is only about the wind, thunder, and fire attributes of chakra's nature transformation. It's fine, it's fine. Watergate smiled. It's fine as long as it has the wind attribute. It's not so urgent now. I can let Jiraiya do it in the future. That's true. Akira Uchiha nodded. This was the good thing about having a teacher. No ninjutsu? Let the teacher do it. No cultivation method? Let the teacher do it. No girl? Well, let the teacher do it. By the way, what about Mikoto? Watergate asked. Akira Uchiha looked at the quiet Mikoto beside him and replied. Mikoto also has dual attributes, but it's fire and thunder. The Uchiha clan members generally have the fire attribute, but occasionally they have the thunder attribute or other attributes. Akira Uchiha gestured to Shinakushina, who was lying listlessly on the table. Shinakushina, you should also test it. Then Akira Uchiha repeated the same thing he told Watergate to Shinakushina. What's the use of this? Shinakushina asked. Nothing, it's just to let you know what attribute you have. Your control over chakra is good now. And it's related to your future development. Akira Uchiha shrugged. What attribute? Akira Uchiha asked. Wind attribute. Akira Uchiha nodded. That's right. It seems that Naruto inherited Shinakushina's genes except for the little yellow hair. However, Watergate was also amazing, a fierce person who changed the Uzumaki clan. The Uzumaki clan's red hair, which was passed down from generation to generation, became yellow hair because of him. Even the first generation's hair color changed when it came to Tsunade's generation. Watergate's genes were still strong, his son and grandson were still yellow hair. Just as Watergate continued to study the theory of seals, Akira Uchiha continued to practice the nature change of the wind attribute. A person came over. It was the kid of the Inuzuka family. Because of the beginning of the ninja war, some teachers were sent to the battlefield. So Akira Uchiha's class was stretched to 40 minutes, and during this time, Nishimura-sensei ran to other classrooms, leaving Uchiha-chun and the other kids to do whatever they want in the classroom. Inuzuka's kid may also be bored. Akira Uchiha and Watergate were chatting, so he came over. "Where's your dog?" Akira Uchiha didn't answer him, but asked a question. "Dog. Oh, you mean the ninja dog." Because of the vaccination, the fish ball was left at home for 2 days. Ninja dogs also need to be vaccinated? Akira Uchiha had some doubts. Isn't it better to bite people and get rabies? "Why, do you like my fish ball a lot?" "No, I already have a spiritual beast." Akira Uchiha shook his head, and then Dabai came out of his neck at the right time. Dabai licked Akira Uchiha's neck, then went back in. "You actually put a snake on your body?" Inuzuka originally thought that putting a dog on his head was already artistic enough, but he didn't expect there to be something even more artistic here. "Yeah, because it's cooler." Inuzuka still didn't have the intention to leave. He only glanced at Shinakushina in front of him. However, Shinakushina didn't notice his expression at all, so he felt an inexplicable sense of loss. Akira Uchiha was stunned. That kind of conflicted and disappointed gaze, the gaze that wanted to ask for attention, no matter how he looked at it. He must have fallen in love with Shinakushina, right? Akira Uchiha thought about it carefully, and felt that there shouldn't be any interaction between the two of them. The only interaction was that Shinakushina was mocked by him for looking like a tomato, and then he was beaten up a few times by Shinakushina. F***CK, Big Brother, I finally met a living Stockholm Syndrome person. Of course, it was also possible that she was just a masochist. At this moment, Shinakushina, who was lying on the table, suddenly turned around. Inuzuka thought that Shinakushina wanted to talk to him. However, Shinakushina didn't even look at him. "Chun, my grandma said that she wants to see you." Akira Uchiha nodded. Chapter 109. Around 7 o'clock, the rain finally stopped. The few trees transplanted from Uzumaki village in the small yard, because of neglect, the branches and leaves were slanted, reaching under the eaves of the corridor. So the rainwater leaking from the eaves, from time to time, slowly and regularly knocked on the leaves. After listening for a long time, it seems that the heartbeat slowed down. Lanterns have been lit in the yard, painted with the symbol of the Uzumaki clan. This is an ancient tradition of the Uzumaki clan. Whenever the clan member is about to die, a red lantern will be lit in the yard. After the rain, the weather is not so hot. Mito Vortex tucked her quilt in the bed. At the table in front of her, Shinakushina carefully poured 2 glasses of wine in the cup. Then a strong aroma came out of the wine cup. Then Shinakushina handed 1 cup to Mito, and the other cup to Akira Uchiha next to her. Mito raised the cup to drink, but suddenly coughed. Shinakushina quickly went up and patted Mito's back. Akira Uchiha held the cup with a worried look. After coughing, Mito raised the cup and took a sip. After drinking the wine, Mito made a comfortable sound. She looked up and saw Akira Uchiha and Shinakushina's expression, couldn't help but smile. "I'm not dead yet, what's with your expression? Kid, hurry up and drink it. This was left behind by Hashirama, and has been buried deep in the ground. You can't drink this kind of good wine anywhere else. I don't know why this wine is a lot less. It must have been stolen by Tsunade. If you don't drink it now, you won't have a chance to drink it in the future." It's not the first time that Akira Uchiha experienced Mito's carefree attitude. He nodded, then raised his head and drank. "Speaking of this wine, I didn't like to drink it at first. Later, Hashirama often drank with Madara, and then he was picked up by Madara, and finally he didn't come back at night. I was curious, so I tasted it and found that it was really good. Mito smiled and talked about the past. Grandma, can you drink this wine? Shinakushina hesitated. I'm in good health. Before I die, I want to do all the things I wanted to do before. Mito said to Shinakushina to pour her another cup. Hearing the word death, Kushina's eyes immediately turned red, but she didn't cry. She resisted, took the cup, and poured another cup for Uzumaki Mito. To drink Are you still used to the life of wood leaf? And someone else? Mito teased Shinakushina. Grandma, you just laugh at me. I don't want to talk to you. Shinakushina waved her fist, and her red hair moved like a red peony. Look at this posture, this momentum. Gee, you just said a word, and you're already defending others. This makes me, an old woman, envious. Mito smiled, but her mouth still didn't stop. Shinakushina, who was blushing, suddenly stopped and said, But after all, you're my only relative. Mito was stunned and looked at Shinakushina's face. Red hair, delicate appearance, and violent temperament. It's exactly the same as when she was a child. But now, Shinakushina was sitting in front of her, with a sad look on her face. Back then, when Hashirama died, she was also sad. Unexpectedly, in the blink of an eye, she was about to die. Mito was silent for a moment. Then she patted Shinakushina's head and said, Shinakushina, no one is immortal. I cannot accompany you until the end of time. To be able to accompany you until now, I am already very happy. After a while, Mito smiled and said, Shinakushina, help me get the scroll. I left it with Tsunade. Shinakushina nodded her head. She knew that Grandma Mito wanted to have a few words with Shin alone. The room turned quiet. Mito lifted the blanket and gestured to Akira Uchiha to help her up. Mito stood up, and the Uzumaki clan's long skirt fluttered like the petals of a water lily. She walked to the side of the table and had Akira Uchiha sit down as well. Shun, do you know what a tailed beast is? I know. The term tailed beast is not a secret among ninjas. In the past, the first Hokage severed tailed beasts. This is recorded in the history books. People want to use the power of tailed beasts, and then use people as a vessel to seal the tailed beast in the body. This is the human Manchuriki. Mito continued. Then, do you know why Shinakushina came to Woodleaf? To become the Kyubi Manchuriki. Akira Uchiha hesitated for a moment before answering. That's right. To replace me as the second Kyubi Manchuriki. In fact, the human Manchuriki is very painful. A beast is sealed in one's body, and one may have to endure the cold and strange eyes of others. I made Shinakushina a Manchuriki. Do you hate me? Akira Uchiha shook his head. Kyubi represents power. If one can master Kyubi's power, they can protect themselves. Akira Uchiha has no reason to hate Mito. Mito laughed. Do you know why I told you so many things? Although these are the village's top secrets, I believe in love more. With your relationship with Shinakushina, you will know this sooner or later. As the Kyubi Manchuriki, I have the ability to distinguish between good and evil people. I can feel that you are different from most people. And you are very talented, and your strength will not be weak in the future. You will have enough strength to protect Shinakushina, and not let her get hurt. The most important thing is that the human Manchuriki is more sensitive than ordinary people, and more lacking in love. If you want to live happily, you need someone to protect the human Manchuriki. Woodleaf can protect Shinakushina's safety, but it can't fill the emptiness in her heart. So I want to ask you, after I die, can you continue to take care of Shinakushina for me? When Akira Uchiha walked out of the house, Shinakushina was sitting on the steps of the corridor, hugging her knees, silently looking at the night scene in the distance. Because it was already night, and it had rained during the day, the air was slightly cold. Looking from the courtyard, one could see the rock of Naruto. Akira Uchiha sat down next to Shinakushina. Actually, I was lying. Shinakushina said with a choked voice. I was scared. When I was in Whirlpool Village, I saw so many people die. I thought I was strong enough, but I wasn't. Grandma Mito died because of me. If it wasn't for me, she could still live for a while. Akira Uchiha hugged the girl silently, and the girl kept crying. Time seemed to stop at this moment. A week later, Mito Vortex passed away in his courtyard. Shinakushina became the second Manchuriki. An era had finally come to an end. You're tuning into the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.